Welcome to FurCast, episode 296. I'm your Blue Fox host, Pharaoh.
I'm your Red Wolf host, Paradox.
I'm your witness to this dumpster fire, Ikasuri the Direwolf.
It's a really great title. Witness to the Dumpster Fire.
Yep.
It almost sounds like an album.
That would be a good album.
It would be, yeah. So yeah.
We're a little classier than Dumpster Fire. More like a train wreck.
Train wreck? Yeah. I was about to say. Witness the train wreck.
So our studio is doing a little bit better than last week. We worked on it today and only today.
Like we were talking about earlier, we're like, why didn't we do this on the other 2 days that we had off?
I don't know.
Because we have to keep up with the
Well,
preparedness.
I know for you, it was truck problems, so... / cleaning / Pharaoh being Pharaoh.
Yeah. But I mean, we got some stuff done. You know, it looks a little bit better, but we still got to move the mic stands and do a couple of other things. But of course, thank you to Zumoro as well for doing tons of back-end web development and infrastructure work. Also, thank you to Riley for helping with a bunch of that stuff. We got some servers migrated to a new data center, stuff like that, all during the week. So I suppose that stuff got done, just not some of the other stuff. But you know, anyway.
I just noticed you had the leveler out.
Yeah, it was, leveled. We had the leveler, like a laser leveler, so that we could try to make that level, and we didn't do it, though, because we got caught up doing other things. But anyway.
Well, mounting the mic thing took me longer than the stupid poster thing, because really, you're like, oh, we just got to sand it some more. It's like a millimeter off.
Yep.
Stand this or that?
That piece of wood over there.
Okay.
I measured the hole, cut it to size. So I was trying to make it sure like it was a tight fit. And yeah, it is literally like...
You should know better than by now that you shouldn't measure to size. You have to go a bit wider.
I was saying, he made the hole too small. And I was like, well, it's not a bad thing. You should always stretch a hole that's too small. But if it's too loose, it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't fit right. So, we got to get it to the right size. Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't try any J-Lube on that pipe.
You can always get more lube.
What's funny is I bought J-Lube for both of our showers, just to have. Because, by the way, J-Lube is fucking awesome. It's literally just a bottle of powder, and as soon as it touches water, it turns into nice lube, and then it just rinses off. It's amazing.
You shouldn't have trusted me with such things.
So I bought some, and Pharaoh has used a bunch of it, but he's used it for all not things you would use lube for. For instance, you mixed it with, what was it? It was like...
Utterly smooth lotion.
Yeah, utterly smooth lotion.
Moisturizing cream or something.
It's just bad cow puns.
Yeah.
Because of its original purposes.
So you made like Fluffernutter.
It looks like Fluffernutter lube.
It does, but it's made out of lube. It's pretty horrifying, actually.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh my God. So we have a decent-sized roundup for tonight. So, for those of you who are new to the show, the roundup is the segment where we essentially just throw a whole bunch of links and news articles at you. These are things we don't necessarily have time for, but we think you might be interested in checking it out yourself after the show. So the first thing in the roundup is a new iOS and Android app that's going to be coming out soon, following the trend of like Grindr. And all of those apps
grinded?
that seem to have R at the end with no vowels. Well, this one...
Is it Sanding Stone?
It's called Howler. And it is in beta right now, but they are going to be... I believe they have an Android beta. I don't know if they have an iOS beta yet, but it's going to be available soon. And it's going to be a way to find furries. We talked about another app the other week as well.
Hook up with furries, because normies are going to be using it.
Well, apparently there was like an app like that for furries, but it was only on Android, and I don't think it was very well maintained. So hopefully these guys will do a little bit better. But they also have a Twitter account. It's just Howler app on Twitter, so you guys can check that out.
Oh, it's a blue otter.
Bucktown Tiger went crazy, man. He is on a 3-day winning streak. We got a Flare article about it here. We got all kinds of clips. He's up to over $100,000 after a 4-day streak, and there's been some he's just doing so good, and he's we got a clip of him here, I believe, that we can play.
A network engineer from North Little Rock, Arkansas, Josh Hill.
They do run marathons. Was there much separation between you and the runners ahead of you? I can see one way in the distance about a mile ahead.
Josh?
What is Arbor Day?
You got it. Josh?
What is an uppercut?
Uppercut, correct. Josh?
What is biting?
Fighting, yeah. Most impressive. You become champion with 23,600. Not only is that not too bad, that's pretty good. He plays piano in a tiger suit.
I've been playing piano since grade school, and Tiger was my high school mascot, and I guess it kind of stuck. So I got this tiger suit, and I've been playing piano keyboard for various conventions, helping raise money for charity.
Good for you. 2-day total.
Can we just pause for a second and mention how well said that is?
I was about to say.
Let's play that moment again where he gets
Just
asked about
casually.
being furry.
Best way to just casually.
Best way to say that. Oh, of course, it's a Twitter video. Thanks, Twitter video. So as soon as you seek, it breaks. Let's see if we can seek again. Let's see if this will work.
I've been playing piano since grade school, and Tiger was my high school mascot, and I guess it kind of stuck. So I got this tiger suit, and I've been playing piano keyboard for various conventions, helping raise money for charity.
Good for you. 2-day total of 50,485. Josh?
What are bones?
Good. Josh?
Who is Taft?
Good.
Who is Pope John the 23rd?
Yes, boy. Most impressive once again. A 3-day total of 82,886. You do this movement. Is there any significance to that?
Just I like tigers, I guess.
Okay. Now a 4-day total of $102,530. Well, folks, as you've discovered by now, our champion is rock solid and steady. Answer there, the Daily Double.
So he's doing really well. Like, shout out to Bucktown Tiger. I believe we interviewed him a long time ago. We need to interview him again. He was great. I loved that. So, also shout out to Sawrex Sergal, who I believe I met at FurCons in New Zealand. He did a video on his YouTube channel for FurDo 2018. And I just wanted to shout that out because it's not often you see all those furries getting put together, but he's got some cute videos of all the stuff that they did, and they had like a beach party, it looks like. And he also got some great drone shots of the Australian Gold Coast. Speaking of which, there's actually a coffee place called Paradox Coffee that I really need to go to there. I have one of their t-shirts thanks to TC Fox. Speaking of TC Fox,
I don't
he's
ever want
going
to
to
think about getting sand out of a fursuit.
Yeah, that's gotta be terrible, but I mean, and hot.
Yeah.
That's gotta be really hot.
Although, to be fair, it is one of their colder seasons right now.
Really?
In Australia, yeah. So it's not
great, yeah.
too bad. But so
yeah,
there you
it's
go.
probably- so actually, yeah, that's probably actually really nice because beaches get cold.
So shout out to Sawrex Sergal's YouTube channel. He's got some cool stuff on there. The next thing, now we shouted these guys out recently, two furry bros, but I wanted to shout them out one more time because the main guy that runs that channel explained furry to his entire school, and he did a really good job. And then he actually does the whole thing in English too.
Animal costumes. I'm here to talk about the furry community. It's a creative community that centers around animal characters. Sometimes it's also called the furry fandom, which is also the exact same thing. This right here is a furry. It's pretty much a fantasy animal that acts somewhat similar to what a human does.
And I've shouted them out before, but just recommend subscribe. And by the way, one more shout out for them, two furry bros. They did a top 10 furry movies of all time, and guess what movie number 1 was? It was Rock Dog. Zootopia was number 10, and Rock Dog was number 1, and I believe Lion King was number 2 for them. But apparently they really liked Rock Dog, and I remember we kind of liked Rock Dog, or at least we liked it more than Zootopia.
You guys were obsessed with Rock Dog for a while, so yeah.
Because I love the music from it.
Yeah, I know. You kept playing it over.
It's a great song. Do we have that song?
Yeah, we do. Glorious.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah,
You gotta play it during break. I like Glorious.
It's
It's a good song.
I know it's a good song. It's just funny.
There we go. I got it ready. We can play it during the break.
This food is so good, though.
Pharaoh's eating food, apparently. Next, I just wanted to kind of show this off. It's kind of a cute video of two mermaids swimming in a pool because I'm starting to become part of a couple groups that do merfur stuff, and there's a bunch of different furries that have tails.
I don't like the
Merfur.
merfur.
Yeah, merfur. Isn't that great? Because
It's spelled differently.
it is spelled differently. It's M-E-R, but you know, it's just cool stuff. So I wanted to show that off because I thought it was cute.
You just call them merfolk instead of merfers. I don't like merfers.
So in the Adventure Journal, they had this
mean, what is
ridiculous
that?
article about a fox
I mean, it's hilarious.
and an eagle playing tug of war with a rabbit.
Yes, playing.
Yes. And by playing, I mean probably fighting to the death over it. But yeah, this fox got a rabbit, and this literally.
Don't steal my food.
Look at this! Look at that! Ridiculous! For those who can't see the video feed, this bird just went and picked up the rabbit, but the fox still had it, and the bird is literally flying through the air carrying.
It's like a baby fox too.
The fox. Yeah, it's like a tiny. It's so cute. So yeah,
he still lost it.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Oh well. And then SciShow, I shout them out all the time, but they had a cool video about eye color in reindeers and all about how, you know how like if a cat is it like, you know, under your couch or whatever, and you look under your couch and then you can like see their eyes, and that's due to some reflective material in their eyes. Well, SciShow talks about that and the color of it.
Same with Demon Dog over there.
Yep, and how it affects how animals see in the dark.
Shine a light into the woods at night, and you might see the glow of eyes staring back at you. But the eyes aren't actually glowing. They're reflecting light off a special layer of tissue found in some animals called a tapetum lucidum.
So the video's awesome, and SciShow, you should subscribe just because it's kind of crazy. And then right after that, we had a Jib Cody animation, and this is an animation of the fucking finding rooms at MFF, which was absolutely ridiculous. I have a couple different things in the roundup for MFF, and I've also, I believe, got Jesse joining us on the line to kind of talk about it because he went through it with his mate and some of our other friends that we regularly hang around. How's it going, Jesse?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear. What's up?
Do you want to build a snowman?
I'm sorry. That sounds a lot like Yentl.
What a Build a Snowman does?
It's a Deadpool 2 joke. You should see it. It's really good.
Right. So, okay, the MFF. So, first of all, I just want to apologize. Last week, I made a mistake by saying I thought it had gone well. That was actually because you had sarcastically tweeted about it, and I didn't know it was sarcastic, but yeah.
It was painful. Okay, so it's usually pretty bad. You usually have people trying. By the way, I hope I'm not echoing too bad. I'm in literally the room above a theater. I'm working another con, and right now, and they're doing a costume contest in the theater. I'm in the lighting booth overlooking it, but it's quiet enough so I think I can talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, no. So it's usually a shit show, but there's people queue up, people kind of get ready, and everyone presses the button, like you see in the animation. Basically, what happened was they had published MFF had published a passkey link. Do you want to explain what passkey is? Because you probably know better what it is than I do. So, it's just the software they use for the rooms.
Yeah, it's essentially like the software that integrates how the convention and the hotel, I guess, get the rooms. I'm actually a little bit less familiar with it than I think some of you guys are. But I remember, I mean, most people try to have as much information as they can pre-prepared, right? Like, I used to have it all in Notepad, but you guys took it a step further, right?
Well, okay, so Riley's great. He's been helping out with the streaming infrastructure here. He's become a really good friend, and I got the link to the passkey, and I basically, because Riley knows much more infosec and computer stuff than I do, and I was basically, and also Riley has not been to an MFF before, so I've been trying to keep him up to date on what's been going on, and basically I got that link and I'm like, here Riley, anything you can divinate from this, and Riley was able to his credits, find another Hyatt passkey event that was happening in Maryland that had the same screen flow, using the same system, which has been used for MFFs before. But what that allowed me and anyone else who wanted to before, the morning of, we all got on TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever it was, and I just started going through. Familiarizing myself with the steps, what room to select, making sure I selected the dates right, making sure, and just kind of practicing going through the motions and basically bailing at the point where you have to put in your personal information, just so I could go as fast as humanly possible.
Right.
It was just practice runs.
Oh, that is insane.
So, but that's such a good idea, though, to do practice runs so that you kind of know what to. And was it the same, by the way, when you went to go do it?
Well, so here's what happened. So like I said, it went so well. We're all getting hyped up. We're all getting amped up. We're all getting ready. I'm like having to calm myself down and be like, okay, you know what? This is probably going to fail over. This is not going to be pretty, of course. 10,000 people they're expecting this year. Something's going to go wrong. the moment the clock turns, the site goes down. Nobody can get anything. It is laggy. It is not loading. It is throwing people invalid URL errors. Everything is going wrong. There are even stories of a lot of people I know, who got all the way to the fill in your credit card information page, press submit, and then they got bounced.
Oh.
It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I just trying to be stoic. I'm like, all right, go bad out, try again, go through, error. All right, bad out, try again, go through. All right, and everyone, some of our other friends were. Oh, there's a crab. Some of our other, yeah, there's like cosplay and stuff, like doing catwalks on stage.
I tried it once, and the site was crashed for me, and I was like, "Well, not getting a room." So
yeah.
Well, see, what you need is perseverance, Pharaoh. Perseverance might actually get you that coveted room.
You know what? I will pay more money and buy the room out of the fucking room block a week before, like I did for Anthrocon, and be completely happy.
No, I'm just kidding around. But basically, what happened was, we just kept stowing through, and some of our other friends are losing their crap. They're like, "Oh my god, it's horrible. It's not coded right. Blah blah." Of course, because what can you do? Finally, I think about half hour, maybe 40 minutes later, we're all just kind of giving up. MFF has tweeted out that maybe about 85% of rooms are booked. There are still a few king sizes for Saturday night available. Great, because that's what we all wanted.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
How many minutes was it in? Did they say it was 85% booked?
It was like a 20, 30 minutes in. I forget exactly. I'm sure the tweet is still there. My mate was like, "Hey, do we just want to get, I know people with DoubleTree. Do we just want to get a DoubleTree just in case?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably a good idea." So worst case scenario, great. It's 1 o'clock Eastern time. Well, that went about as well as anything else. MFF ops can only do so much because passkey is not theirs. They're not responsible for passkey. There's only so much they can do, but their communication isn't so hot on it either. So we're basically all just going, well, at least we have a DoubleTree room.
Right.
Can walk the 25 minutes. And that's when I sent that tweet. I was like, because everyone is losing their shit on Twitter. Because everyone. So
that's when you sent the sarcastic tweet, right? The one that was like, "Oh, everything's going just fine."
Oh yeah, no, thanks, great job, dude. And I should have. I like everyone else was a little bit pissed. It was not a very nice thing to do to the people who really are trying their best to work with a system they have no control over.
Right. Yeah. And I've also got their tweet up here that says, "We appreciate your patience. The Hyatt audit of room is nearing completion, and we're compiling an FAQ to answer your questions."
So there's a part 2. There's a part 2 and a part 3. And I'll be
part 2 and a part 3. Damn.
Yes.
Your trilogy.
It's a trilogy. Yeah.
The trilogy, unfortunately.
I don't know. Hey, wait. You know what they say about sequels, though.
Actually,
usually the third one's a good one.
That's true.
Actually, in this one, the sequel is the best part. Because at least for me, so it's about 2 hours, and I can be sensitive. I'm keeping it in. It's like, it's not so bad. We'll walk. Whatever. Who cares? I get offline. I get in the back. I'm a cat. I get back into bed. Are you really that surprised? I gotta put my head down. I've gotten completely keyed up. I'm just ready to go, and then completely let down by this. I'm just gonna close my eyes for a second because I'm tired. This has just tuckered me out.
Right.
And I think I sleep for about 10 minutes, and then I just open Twitter, see what's going on. And lo and behold, it's right around, let's say, 2:55, 3 o'clock. They're cheering for something. I see our friend Cyphero, the purple guy, right?
Yeah.
I see he has tweeted a picture of a confirmation email he's gotten. I'm like, wait a second. Because you have to understand, after the initial room block was released, we didn't see anything. There were no tweets about anyone saying, "Oh, I got a room," just disappointment, leading a lot of us to question, wait a second.
Right, okay. Some people got rooms and some people didn't get rooms. And there was no confirmation or no verification at all. And then just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get an email that's like, "Oh, by the way, you got a room."
Well, not really. I don't even know about that. But no one confirmed that they had gotten a room. I don't even know if those people got notifications later. But a lot of us were speculating, well, wait a second. Was there botting going on? Was there foul play involved here?
Right.
And that's where a lot of the anger at MFF and passkey came. Well, no, remember.
FAWL. Foul play.
Well,
FOWL.
Remember, we live in a world where RMFC had a contingent from the Furry Raiders, yes, like 2 years ago, book almost all the rooms in the block.
Yeah.
For the exclusive use of their members. They tried to pull the same shit again with the new Denver con, the new Denver con that is coming up, and Denver rightfully said, "Okay, we're putting a stop to this right now. If you have a reservation, you better email us confirmation of your reg right now, or you're losing your room spot."
Damn.
But we live in a world where this is the kind of thing you have to be ready for. So I think the speculation was on par. Anyhow, people were suspecting maybe foul play, but we never had confirmation people got rooms. So suddenly, here's Cyphero a couple hours later saying, "Oh, hey, look, I got an email." So, and I know Cyphero.
So it was a second wave. If Cyphero's in chat, actually, he says it was a second wave of availabilities, essentially.
Well, basically, what happened was I'm texting him like, "Wait a sec, dude, what did you do? What did you do differently than the rest of them?" He's like, "I don't know, I just booked it." I'm like, "Wait a second, it's 3 p.m. You just booked," and I immediately jump out of bed, log back on, open up this time Firefox for whatever reason, just to see if there's a difference. Go through, and thankfully the training that I had done in the morning helps because I ran lightning fast through, bam, 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 submit, page comes up, you have a room. I'm like, I got it.
Yes.
I got it. Holy shit, I got it.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. And then immediately I see people saying, the site's down. And I'm like, oh my God, I got in at the right at 3 p.m., the last minute possible. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
Now, I'm hoping that they didn't double book rooms like they've done before.
So here's the part 3.
Part 3. Yep.
After all of this, so I'm happy. I got the confirmation email. Just to be sure, I called the Hyatt later in the day to just in case add my mate to the room res, and just to confirm, no, I have a room. I have the email, and now I made a phone call to make sure. But
yeah, I've also got your screenshot on the screen that says, "We're staying in Maine, bitch."
Oh no! Oh yeah, no. Isn't that the thing you most want to write to your mate? Because like he was in the chat with us and he was disappointed just like we were, and I immediately got the email. I'm like, oh, and because he had left to see some other friends to do some tabletop gaming, and I'm like, I'm sorry, hon, the DoubleTree just isn't going to work out. And it's like, oh God, why? I'm like, because we're staying in Maine, bitch.
That's awesome.
Oh no, but so part 3 is great. So we're settled. We have a room. We're fairly confident in that. But the Hyatt basically said, we're opening an investigation. We're going to take a look at what's going on. We're going to do a full audit. You better not book double rooms because we're going to see it, and those are going to be discarded if anyone has. They haven't said what they have or have not found, but apparently they have found some extra rooms. So I'm guessing some people did double book. Maybe there was some bot activity. Maybe it was all manual. But some people did double book.
Or maybe people just literally accidentally double booked because like the site crashed
possibly.
and they didn't.
Refreshing way too much.
They didn't get an email, and then
the point is we don't know. There's no information on that right now. But the MFF has said we're going to take the rooms we have found, that we have uncovered, that we have gotten back, and we are going to put this out in a lottery.
That's I guess, decent way to handle that, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's especially in a situation like this.
Yeah, we've got the Jib Cody animation, which I was showing earlier.
Yes, and such real life.
We've also got a great reply from I believe one of the writers for Zootopia.
Oh yeah, Hawking Phoenix stuck his head in.
Saying this is what happens when you try to type with thick fursuit paws. Haven't you all learned by now? And then Enboa replying, so that was my problem. Now you tell me. So yeah, there was some good Twitter shenanigans going on.
It was a pretty crazy day, I gotta say. And of course, obviously, you want to be careful. It's like getting a fursuit. You want to be careful who you tell. I've had friends tell me like you want to be careful who you tell, because if you tell enough people, you're immediately gonna attract attention, and people are gonna start messaging you out of the blue. And if you have a room, people are gonna be like, hi, I'm your new best friend. If you have a higher room.
Space. You got floor space?
Yeah, hi.
Cyphero in chat, who, by the way, is the best Purple
He's
Fox.
Amazing. Okay, can I say, after this occurrence especially, I like Cyphero. He was someone I considered a friend before. I love Cyphero, obviously, because of this occurrence.
Cyphero is a good boy. He's a good Purple Fox. But he says in chat, I had a browser extension that refreshed the page every 30 seconds and notified me when the page changed. But it was chaos. And I mean, I remember the last time I tried to get an MFF room, I remember I was actually afraid to use the autofill feature in my browser because I was afraid that if it filled something out wrong, and then it screwed it up, then it would actually set me back like further than I would be if I had just pasted it all in manually. So it was like I spent the whole time, I remember just taking like credit card numbers and everything and just putting it all in Notepad and then just manually like being like practicing copying and pasting each line as fast as possible. It was just like,
God, this is like some old Monster Hunter World shit.
yep, that's how it is.
That's kind of what it's become, and I feel bad for all these. I feel bad for all these people who go to conferences. This is only a 10,000 person event. I'm currently sitting in the lighting booth for a con called MomoCon that is 30,000 for 30,000 people, which is a kind of all-purpose anime, manga, cartoons, video games, etc. But this is considered upper side of small to healthy mid-size con. This is nothing like Dragon Con or Comic Con, which have 90 to 150,000 people, or tech conferences that can be even bigger. So, God, what do they have to deal with?
Yeah, I know.
How does that work?
Well, thank you for joining us on the line, and I hope you have a good time at MomoCon, by the way.
Oh, we're getting a lot of good stuff. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and I believe Confuzzled is also going on this weekend. I should mention that.
We should find out what Hayu's doing.
Yeah, we should.
He's Nordic FuzzCon, not Confuzzled. Never
also,
mind.
I should just mention, Jesse, while you're on the line, that our privacy policy has changed. So do you accept the new terms and use agreement?
I want to give him a read over, and you sent the email, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it in my inbox?
Yep.
Okay, I might not get to it for a few months. There's so many.
It was actually delivered by pigeon.
Yeah. Actually, Jesse, if you don't answer the email about our privacy policy, I'm gonna have to stop being friends with you because I'm not allowed to know that you exist. So.
Well, actually, that's cool because I wasn't ready for the new regulations, so I'm just gonna block you.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Thank
you.
That has
privacy policies ruining friendships.
Yeah. Oh God! I'll see you guys.
Thank you, Jesse. That was awesome. So shout out to Rar Jesse on Twitter for joining us on the line. That worked out really great. So that's pretty much the roundup.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, but hey, man, at least I'm spoiled because I got a staff room.
What was it last year?
Yeah,
AC, the weekend before AC started. During the show, I got a room in, what was it? The Good Hotel. Not the main Westin, but the one right next door that's connected to the convention center.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Doubletree?
Oh, yeah.
Literally 3 days before AC.
Hey, they've got a random room. Pharaoh, you should check it out.
And I still have two free room credits for that hotel. Try to use it.
That's true.
I'll book again outside of room block. I have 2 free room credits.
All right, shall we move on to news stuff? Do you have an article that you want to start with? I did not get any main news articles tonight. Sorry about that. But if you have one, we can go with that.
News.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm glad a decent number. Oh God, they started a :3. I blame Cyphero or Safaro, one of those. It's funny. I feel like I met him in real life and I asked him which one I should use, and he was like, "Eh." But hopefully he'll be at MFF again. Yeah, Guy in chat says he wants to get the Courtyard next year. Yeah, Courtyard is the one that's right next to the convention center. That is a good one to get. I don't know. I don't mind the Westin. I know some people really hate the Westin at AC, but somehow I never seem to mind it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's convenient.
Yeah. Anyway, you got one you want to start with, Pharaoh?
There's a few.
Okay. Well, as soon as you let me know, I can cue it.
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Also, by the way, I know that the text looks weird when the thing animates in. I have to fix it. Don't worry about it.
Russia is sending radioactive puppies to the U.S. News at 5.
Radioactive puppies. That radioactive puppy, could that be a show title?
Radioactive puppies.
Radioactive puppies. I like it.
Communist radioactive puppies. It's the Red Scare all over again.
Yeah.
The pup scare.
The pup scare.
trying to think of other. What?
You.
Does Russian have like? Because there's German shepherds, but those are German. What does Russian have for like a dog?
That's what the internet's for.
Like, what is the Russian dog? There has to be a dog from Russia. I'm just saying, like.
There's the Caucasian Shepherd dog, the Black Russell Terrier Borzoi. That is a weird looking dog. Yeah, I can see a lot of these dogs being used in Russia.
So many people suggested the show title Radioactive Puppies. Just bombard the bot. That's funny.
Anyhow, radioactive puppies from Chernobyl are going up for adoption in the U.S.
Works. Sorry, you can keep reading. I didn't mean to distract you.
Why? I mean, what, you just want a giant dog? This is basically how you get a dire wolf. Throw a fucking nuke on it, apparently.
Well, so what I want to know, though, is it because there's dogs roaming and they want to get them out of there? Like,
Yeah,
I think it might...
Probably just Russia selling radioactive dogs to the U.S.
Probably somebody going out there.
Stupid fucking Americans.
Grabbing a bunch of dogs from Chernobyl area.
what are we going to do with these dogs, guys? I know. America will buy them.
And you probably could put radioactive dog in the title and Americans would buy them.
Well, I mean, like, all that means is they were exposed to some of it and then they drank some of the water, which just means they're probably going to have health problems.
But, I mean,
Or they're emitting radiation.
No, not really.
How do you know?
Because it's deep down in the ground soil now. It gets into the water and it can bother animals, but it doesn't. I mean, as soon as they literally eat a bunch of food, they would just shit it out. It's not.
Well, I mean, they actually do produce.
Have you seen Spider-Man?
Radiation, but.
Let's see what radiation does to you.
Yes. I'm sure that's exactly how radiation works.
But I mean, like, yeah, all the animals in Chernobyl just got bigger in the past however many years. What the?
Sorry, I'm just doing something on my laptop. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like it's probably just because they want to get some of them out of there. Because I know they're also aren't they doing a lot of construction work around the facility?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to clean it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a huge project, but I can't remember when the completion date on that is. I'm sure somebody in the chat room will correct me.
Well, they sealed the center because it's still radioactive, apparently.
Well, I think they sealed it a little bit.
Oh my god!
But I think they had to seal it again, though. I think there was like a bigger thing that they were putting.
They
on
opened it up for tourism, though.
Oh yeah, you can go to Chernobyl.
Yeah, you can go to Chernobyl now for tourism.
You mean Pripyat, which is next to Chernobyl?
No, you can actually go up to it and you can see it.
Okay.
You can spend like a week or two there, and it's like with a tour group, and you're allowed to explore around a little bit too at certain times. Tom Scott did a whole video tutorial about it. It's actually really easy because there's tour groups like that you can sign up for that do tours of Chernobyl, and you can see the whole facility and everything. And then
just don't go to where the reactor is because it's probably still active.
No, because it's all covered up. The bigger issue is just don't drink any water. Yeah. So they provide you
fresh spring water.
Yeah. So they provide you with water, and the whole time that you're there, you also wear radiation detectors and everything. But yeah, the problem is it's basically just groundwater, and you don't want to spend more than like a few weeks at a time there. But yeah, it's like safe to walk around. But yeah.
I still wouldn't go anywhere near the reactor.
Well, luckily there's plenty of people on YouTube have for you, so whoever interested.
Stupid fucking Americans.
Of course.
Don't touch.
Most of the people on the tour group are Europeans, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're not touching
I
everything.
mean, I would be fine with going to Chernobyl and Pripyat, but it's just like, oh my god, I would just don't go towards the freaking core. I know too much about that shit.
Yeah.
In the heat of Chernobyl's nuclear power plant disaster in 1986, thousands of panicked people fled the nearby area, leaving behind hundreds of pets. Even to this day, the offspring of these radioactive dogs still happily roam the streets of this nuclear ghost town, forming their own ragtag community, free from any human contact. So are they really dogs now or more wolves?
They're still dogs.
Yeah, they're still dogs.
Feral dogs?
Feral dogs, but yeah, they're dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, dingoes.
The red rust scare.
Oh my god.
What?
The red rust scare. Ah! I hate you furries so much.
What?
Fucking hell.
Damn it.
The power plant is gaping.
God, there must be so much concrete filling that place up.
Did you just say the reactor's gaping?
Yep.
Okay.
Just to the Red Russ scare.
You know what? I'm going to go down into my bedroom and grab the bell just so we can have it for that. Just so we can have it for that. Continue. Play button's right here to start and stop the music in case you want to. This one.
You realize you give him a button, right?
Now, a new initiative is looking to rehome a gang of these Fallout pups into the U.S. The ominous-sounding state agency of Ukraine on exclusion zone management recently announced that 12 dogs have been rescued from the Chernobyl exclusion zone and in hopes of sending them to families in the U.S.
These are feral dogs. I'm not sure that's a really...
I hope they just send a fucking wolf to some family.
I mean, there are the Chernobyl wolves, which are just bigger wolves.
Just a fucking like wolf, like in a cage. Like, oh, it's such a cute puppy.
We saved these puppies. Grows up in a year. That's a bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, no shit.
No, I don't even want it to be a puppy. I just want it to be a full grown wolf caged in a box. They just open it up. It just the screams.
This sounds just like a terrible idea.
Also,
Why?
just to make up for the fact that we haven't had a bell in a while, so there we go. That probably makes up. And the dogs in the room bark.
What, Maria?
The ominous-sounding state agency of the Ukrainian exclusion zone. 12 dogs have been rescued from the Chernobyl exclusion zone in hopes of sending them to families in the U.S. They will be monitored in the city of Salvuch in a 45-day quarantine to make sure that they are healthy, safe, and free of any superpowers.
Very funny.
We buy a new radioactive dog now.
I mean, if I get a puppy, sure. I don't think I
You
want
are
a
no
feral
doubt-
fucking dog.
You're no doubt wondering how you can get your hands on the wait list for these radioactive puppies, you ask. But there's no official word yet on where the dogs will be put up for adoption. Chernobyl and the nearby town of Piprit remain embedded in a 30-kilometer, 18.6-mile exclusion zone where it is believed around 300 stray dogs live to this day. A handful of these inhabitants have previously been fortunate enough to fall into the care of Clean Futures Fund, CFF, a project dedicated in spaying, neutering, vaccinating, and providing medical care for these stray dogs of Chernobyl. Many of the dogs who have been fitted with electro tags, radiation monitoring collars, so that researchers can look in and local governments to understand the radioactive exposure levels in the area through the animals that roam. Speaking to IFL Science last year, Lucas Hickson, co-founder of CFF, said that we have been out there for the past 3.5 weeks, and we've already spayed, neutered, and vaccinated over 300 dogs and cats that are roaming the wild of Chernobyl. We're also doing cats as well. If it's got ovaries or testicles, we're willing to spay and neuter it. Furries be warned. In spite of the lingering radiation, the wildlife of Chernobyl has actually been doing very well. Number of deers, wild boars are comparable to those outside of the exclusion zone, while the density of wolves is around 7 times higher in the Chernobyl than the surrounding areas. That said, living there comes with its own risk. A 2006 study found that the voles living around the area have usually high levels of cataracts, a condition that causes clouding of the eye lens, and most likely a direct result of the radiation. So while living in the absence of humans certainly has its perks, these dozens of dogs will undoubtedly be happier to start a new life in the U.S.
Are we sure? Are we sure they're going to be happier in the U.S.?
The first comment on this was, I saw this in X-Files once. Hint, don't do it.
Very nice.
I'm pretty sure they had a few episodes that dealt with Chernobyl, just because it's the X-Files.
Maybe we'll get a werewolf.
That'd be kind of awkward.
Like wolf children.
I suppose that's a little less awkward. Still kind of awkward. It's because you're sentient. And therefore I can't treat you just like, dog.
Well, you could if it was in dog form. Does it have like 3 different stages? Dog, werewolf, and human? Like animorphs?
I mean, technically there's 5 if you really want to go into it, but... Go read White Wolf.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, so I'm just kind of sitting here.
I think he just wants a werewolf for like a pet.
Oh, I want a werewolf to snug me, but
he doesn't understand that implication. He's like, oh, you still treat it like a pet. I'm like, no, it's sentient. You can't exactly just treat it like a pet.
I could put a collar on it and carry it around. If it pisses in the house, we'll hit it with the newspaper. I don't care if it's a fucking werewolf.
well, as I've tweeted recently, though, I do like the whole idea that werewolves are just like good boys and need like belly rubs and treats, and then they'll behave and not maul you to death.
I think
Why do you need to maul? Why are you motivated to maul something to death if you're getting treats?
I think the Red Fang would have a problem with that.
See, you watch all like the gory version of werewolves.
Yeah.
I'm into like the.
Well, actually, since you couldn't use newspaper, I just had to grab like silver agitate and soak a newspaper in it, and then I could hit it with the newspaper because then it'd be silver, and then it would have listened to me. So if you hit a werewolf with just a plain old newspaper, if it pees in the corner, then it's not gonna do anything. It might bite you, then you'd be a werewolf.
You're treating something with human level intelligence like you would just a regular dog. You don't even like do authority to my. You can't even authority my dogs. I can't see you putting any kind of discipline on a fucking werewolf.
Well, if it's a puppy at first, it has to grow up and learn.
It just fucking like mauls and kills people, and you're just standing there like, it's hungry.
No, boy.
Bad.
After it gets loose in like a park, just eats everyone, and then it's like afterwards you're like, no, bad. We're going home.
I mean, that would probably work until it's like, a teenager. Then it's just going to do it on purpose.
Wow. And then I'll break out the silver belt.
And you're basically, here's how to not raise a child properly. Yay.
Well, it's a werewolf.
A werewolf child.
It needs more discipline than a normal child.
I'm sure you can talk to it. It is, human level intelligence.
I like this show title, Curries from Communist Canids. God damn it.
You can't talk to a small child.
It's probably one of the better things to do.
Like a 2 or 3 year old, like they'll fucking listen to you.
It's called building vocabulary.
Oh, building werewolf vocabulary. It means to understand no first.
I would like to see you just train a dog, Parrish, just because I haven't seen it yet.
I've trained dogs.
Then we will talk.
Oh my God, can we move on?
I've trained dogs, just not
Move
your
on.
dogs.
We need to move on. Move on. Jesus Christ.
Your dog. You have never trained your dogs.
They're perfectly fine with me. All right.
Well, someone else has to read an email for us to move on.
An email?
I mean, news.
You didn't give me any.
I was looking up the Russian breeds. I'm sorry, since you asked.
Yeah. Are you going to send me one to read?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want one to read?
Maybe.
Like I'm the provisioner of news.
You are. I do
Please,
the roundup.
sir, can I have some more?
And you don't do any prep work before the show to find news. Because you're a disorganized bastard.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Both of you. Just both of you.
Amazon birds form a multi-species gangs for protection in dangerous neighborhoods. This is news to anybody? I'm sorry.
Gang birds.
Gang birds? I mean, I know, but I just don't understand why it's news. Like, I mean, am I the only person who's known that birds are, like, incredibly territorial and violent?
True.
Okay.
Are they?
I saw a great piece of art the other day, by the way. It was some person rubbing up against a cloaca, and it was.
I hate that word.
It was a dick going into a cloaca, but then there's another dick inside, and then it just has the text made out of like screenshots of other text, like almost like a ransom letter where like every word is like a different, like cut out from a different thing, and it was just unexpected item in bagging area. Fucking died. Anyway,
Someone in the chat said not everyone works with Zumaro, so we don't understand birds.
There we go. Our lights were off for a moment. Now they're back on. All right.
Not everyone understands bird gangs.
I don't know. The phrase birds of a feather flock together is used often because, well, it's true. Bird species usually stick to their own. Occasionally, however, birds of many different feathers flock together in little multi-species gangs, and we may know why. It's called an orgy. Multi-species flocks are not unheard of. In a place like the Amazon, don't they have Prime? Why do they need to, There are so many different creatures living in close proximity to one another. It's not surprising that some have found a way of coexisting. Yeah, you get free shipping. I mean, come on. Researchers at San Francisco State University, however, were curious why these unusual groupings work, and perhaps more unusually, why they seem so stable. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my family gets along whenever we share our Amazon Prime account, so it's kind of just how it works. Come back to the same habitat for 20 years in the same flocks using the same areas of the forest, explains study author Vance, not going to read his last name. It defies a lot of expectations. Now, after studying the Amazonian mixed species flocks, reporting their findings in the Journal of Ecology, the team think they have discovered a key reason why they work so well. Lookout birds call out warnings to the rest of the gang when danger approaches, making them integral to the ecosystem and consequently a target for conservation efforts. One of these multi-species flocks one of the things they have in common are sentinel birds that promote the ability of other species to use risky parts of the forest.
Go do.
According to the lead author, Ari Martinez. By acting as an alarm sounding system, these birds open up parts of the forest to other bird species that may have been previously found in the habitat too risky, in turn allowing species that may have not have previously met to mix and mingle. Ooh, myrrh. To test this, the researchers captured alarm-calling, dusky-throttled ant shrikes. Ant shrikes. I don't know what that is. Probably some biological term that I've never heard of. From 8 mixed flocks found in Peru, keeping them separate for a few days and monitoring the effect it had on the rest of the flock, the response was almost immediate. 3 of 8 groups retreated into denser covered, more protected parts of the canopy, while many others flew higher into the trees to join new flocks. The control groups, however, were the ones where the ant shrikes were released immediately back into the flock, were less disrupted, sticking together and staying out into the open. This, researchers say, supports the theory that if you remove the sentinel birds from these mixed species flocks, the rest retreat to a safer habitat, making them a key feature of these ecosystems. They also found that without these key birds, the mixed flocks start to separate. Although not technically a keystone species, those that have an integral position within the ecosystem and unusually large influence on it, like beavers or wolves, the authors argued that these alarm-calling species are vital and that conservation efforts should focus on them in the future. Yeah. Cool.
See, you learned
Birds get along sometimes.
I found something, so yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I want to continue. All right. Woman says she took home kittens only to find out they were bobcats.
Oh, that's getting so big. You're getting so big, kitty.
Look at this kitty. He's so pretty.
God, your teeth hurt.
Why are your claws so sharp? Wait, why don't you have a tail?
Yeah.
That would have been like the first clue. Anyway, a Texas woman says that she took 2 kittens into her home only to discover that they were not house cats but wild bobcats. Jane Dinscore, her sister, and her niece were bitten on the hands while trying to feed the felines. That sounds like normal cat behavior.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Quote, I think they started doing a little bit more research and educating themselves and thinking, you know what? These don't look like your standard house cat, end quote. San Antonio Animal Care Services spokeswoman Lisa Norwood told local TV station Ken's 5 on Monday, maybe we should call somebody. Thankfully, they did. But Dinscore has changed her story since the news broke on Monday. Originally, she told authorities she found the kittens in an alleyway in San Antonio. Now she says she received the kittens from her brother, James Dinscore, in rural Atascocita County. However, she maintains that she believed the kittens were domestic cats. Quote, my brother called and he said that he had some Bengal kittens.
Bengal kittens.
Okay. At his house in McCoy. Jane Discords told San Antonio TV station KSAT on Wednesday. She said she took the kittens home and called ACS after they behaved aggressively, biting and scratching her and her relatives. again, I'm pretty sure that's how most cats actually.
Yeah, and somebody else in chat was saying that there are also cat breeds that don't have tails.
I mean, yeah, they're
Like-
okay. Yeah, there are certain bobs, but I mean, it's just like typically they don't look like little leopard spotted.
Well, there's also like, so I think one time we had a kitten that lost its tail in an accident,
Yeah.
and we adopted it, and it was cute, and it lived a much happier life than wherever it was before.
They have some pictures of the kittens, and I mean, they're cute, but it's like this doesn't look like a normal cat.
Yeah.
She said she took the kittens home and called AC. Okay. AC. She said she lied at first about their origin because she didn't want to possibly get her brother in trouble. It's unclear how he got the animals. ACS and Texas State Parks and Wildlife are working together to determine if the situations merit any criminal charges for disturbing wildlife, according to USA Today. The animals are now in quarantine under the care of Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation in San Antonio. The group wrote in a Wednesday Facebook post that by lying about where the kittens came from, Dinscore made it far less likely that they will be returned to their mother. Yeah. The group hopes to eventually release the bobcats in a safe area. Quote, because the fragile window of opportunity to reunite them with their mother has most likely passed, our goal now is to keep them wild and after a year or so release them back into a protected habitat where humans may never lay eyes on them, end quote, the Facebook post said. These bobcats will be in our care for over a year as their needs are highly specialized and their development time is lengthened when they are in captivity. In general, wild animals should be left in the wild. If you suspect a problem with a wildlife animal or believe you have found one that's sick, injured, or orphan, call a Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Humane Society, Best Friends Animal Society, etc., etc.
All right.
I mean, they're cute, but they've got blue eyes, so they're... It's like they're pretty young. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Kind of freaky, but kind of cool.
I mean, it's Texas, I get it.
You know the old horror story with the hook,
God, what?
the hook in the side of the door?
Yes, why?
The scratch, he's scratching, and there's a hook. I have a story for you.
So is it I Know What You Did Last Summer? Because they kind of pulled with that a lot.
Well, the story's like old as time. Like it's like an old campfire
it's an old,
story.
yeah, it's a generic campfire story, but you know.
You know that one I'm talking
No,
about.
I don't. Or maybe I do it. I'm not thinking of it. What is it?
There's the killer with a hook pulling it along the door, making the scratching sound.
Oh, yeah, okay,
building
yeah.
tension. It's like everyone knows the campfire story.
Okay, yeah.
But like the only time I've ever seen like an actual serial killer or something with it was like I Know What You Did Last Summer.
And then they drive off and like
Yeah.
they get home and in the side of their car is a hook.
Scratch or a hook in the door.
A hook stuck in
Yeah.
the door.
Oh God, did it happen in reality? Did it actually happen?
No, this is America. We don't use hooks.
Guns?
Oh my god.
Man discovers handgun impaled in the front bumper of his car.
The fuck? Handgun impaled.
Sir, I don't think that's how you properly use that. Also, how?
The driver kept on going after mysterious objects struck his car.
How? Somebody just like whip that? No, throwing it wouldn't fucking do it. What the fuck?
I ran out of bullets, so I threw my gun.
And it just impaled a car door?
Like, it is literally, no, it's impaled right into the bumper.
Wow.
Fuck. Oh god. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'll just throw it in here so you can have it, just so you can pull up. It literally is impaled directly into the bumper, like perfectly. Like, I don't think you could try to do that.
Just,
Yeah, it is. Wow.
what the hell? I don't think that's how you get rid of the evidence.
What the fuck?
Holy shit. I mean, bumpers are designed to break first, but I don't think that was the intention.
And he had a gun for a hand!
What the hell?
This terrible shot. You really didn't know how to use a gun right.
It almost makes me wonder if it like was already on the road or something.
Was it one person's asking in chat a pistol with a bayonet? Let's see, that would make sense, but I kind of doubt it because
The first line, though.
that would make a bit more
What?
sense. All right.
This brings a whole new meaning to the term gunning your engine.
That's cringeworthy.
A driver on Interstate 5 in Washington State's South Puget Sound area discovered something shocking when he stopped for gas. A handgun lodged barrel first in the front end of his bumper. So did he not hit the deer, he hit the hunter? Just kept going. The driver was heading down the freeway when a black object came flying through the air and hit his Honda, according to a tweet from the state trooper Guy Gill, a spokesman for that district. There didn't seem to be any serious damage, so the driver thought nothing of it and drove another 18 miles before stopping for gas, Gill said. Troopers handed the gun over to the Lakewood, Washington Police Department. No injuries were reported, and the local station Kings TV said it was unknown whether the gun was thrown, dropped from an overpass, or kicked up by a passing vehicle.
Is that the end?
The gun's owners has not been found.
Does it have the registration number? Does their
Americans don't
fingerprint?
register guns.
Sad but true. I mean, it's supposed to, but yeah, that involves government, and Americans don't like government.
I don't know shit about this topic.
Well, it's not how you use a gun. I can give you.
Yeah, I kind of figured that part out.
Whew.
Yeah.
Somebody misunderstood bump stock.
Nice.
Thanks, chat. But oh my god, yeah, how the hell did that get lodged in there like that? Jesus.
Another quick one for you. London police shut down a rave in an abandoned Toys R Us store.
Yes.
That'd be the best place for a furry rave. I'm sorry.
It would be. It would be.
West London police tweeted that they disrupted an unlicensed music event in the town of Hounslow. And it turns out it was a rave organized in an abandoned husk of Toys R Us stores. The department even made fun of a fun graphic about the March 31 bust. At least it has a sense of humor about it. Thank you for shopping at Raves R Us. They crossed up.
Raves are us. Fuck.
Police said they made 5 arrests and even seized a complete sound system. No word of yet if the sound system was just a Teddy Ruxpin reading everyone's stories of a glow stick. Police later warned the ravers via Twitter not to show up because everyone would be turned away or arrested.
Okay.
The ravers probably don't... Damn it, I hate the puns in this. It hurts me so bad.
You're the one that picked it.
Yeah, you're the one who picked it.
These ravers probably don't want to grow up, maybe because if they did, they'd have to be charged with trespassing as adults, and that's no fun.
Wait, how's that a pun?
It's using the old expression, I don't want to grow up, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I thought it was going someplace else with it, and I just saw like the first part of it, and I'm like, oh,
I was thinking
no.
like Peter Pan or something when you said don't want to grow up.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
line for Toys R Us.
I love how Bed Bath & Beyond is accepting Toys R Us gift cards. And there's people in
Really?
Bed... Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Are we good for a music break? So we can run the air conditioner?
yeah, oh, well, since we did 2 short articles, I have one more short
All
one.
right, one more short one. All right, go ahead.
I've got a relatively short one.
Florida City sends out mass text alert during power blackout. Warning of zombie activity.
Fuck.
It just gets
And
better.
the problem is, if you got that in Florida, you'd be like, oh, I have to believe it.
It just gets.
Because if there's a zombie breakout, it would happen in Florida.
Yeah, I feel like Florida's the first.
Why would it be Florida?
Too many old people all coagulated
Because
together.
it's
Oh,
close.
that's right. No, wait, they did have Isn't the guy that was going crazy and eating people's faces?
That was in Florida too.
Yeah, that was in
PCP.
Florida. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause he,
Not to
like,
mention that
snorted
it's like
rocks.
it's close to the CDC headquarters, but not close enough to be
save them.
to be Atlanta, because Atlanta's much
Yeah.
better than that.
I mean, Georgia's got one thing.
Yep.
Apparently, the city of Lake Worth in Florida sent out the message to its residents at 1:45 a.m. on Sunday,
Oh God.
warning of a power outage due to extreme zombie activity.
On Sunday in Florida.
Nice.
God, they had to like woken everyone up. All the old people woke up and they believed it.
That's not a zombie. That's just the second coming of Jesus
You go ahead. You test that theory.
and his disciples.
You test that theory. I mean, technically, he's a zombie. But...
He's got a lot of disciples, and they're hungry.
Oh my God. Move on.
Someone may be in a bit of trouble after a mass zombie alert text was sent out during a power outage. Residents became concerned after receiving the bizarre push alert message from the city of Lake Worth, Florida, around 1:45 a.m. in the midst of a power blackout. It read, "Power outage and zombie alert for residents of Lake Worth and Termitas."
Power outage and zombie alert.
Why is there a zombie alert in Florida? Why is that actually a thing?
Probably somebody pulling a prank, if I had to guess.
There are now far less than 7,380 customers involved due to extreme zombie activity. Restoration time uncertain.
Extreme zombie activity, as opposed to mild zombie activity. Show title: Mild zombie activity. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, there was the light zombie activity of that one guy. Nobody cares if it's one zombie.
We have a zombie flood watch in effect.
Zombie flood watch.
Extreme zombie activities tonight.
What do you put him on? Strap him on a moped or something and throw him down a ramp?
I want to think about zombies on mopeds.
Skateboards? Dirt bikes? Extreme zombies.
Local media outlet Palm Beach Post reported the mention of Terminus was potentially referring to the city in a popular zombie TV show, The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah, Terminus.
Terminus? I haven't watched Walking Dead in a long time, so.
I haven't really either.
Yeah.
It reported a post on a community Facebook page that indicated the zombie apocalypse message was unintended.
Oops.
I just want to know, why was that already prepped?
Yeah.
Why did you already have a prep for zombie apocalypse?
It might have been an inside joke too, with like officials.
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting there working a thing and you'd have like, look at zombie, and then someone hacked it and literally just sent it out.
This is why you clear all your stupid shit you do.
We are looking into the reports that the system mentioned zombies. City Public Information Officer Ben Kerr wrote, "I want to reiterate that Lake Worth does not have any zombie activity currently and apologizes for the system message." Kerr went on to say that 7,880 customers have been affected by the outage and power was restored within 27 minutes. The mass text alert was not the first of its kind to leave residents a little confused. In January, a message warning of an imminent ballistic missile attack to Hawaii was also sent in terrifying residents who began saying their goodbyes to their loved ones.
Yep, I remember that. God, what a fucking day that was.
All the divorces.
and confessing their sins.
Yep.
In February, the U.S. National Weather Service sent out a test notice to practice warning weather outlets about tsunamis. However, some of the recipients believed the warning to be true and posted alerts to their customers.
Because
Wow.
we didn't properly flag it, or they just didn't read that part.
Anyway, you guys ready for a break?
Yeah.
Me too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't care if we put it on too soon. It's hot in here already.
Support for FurCast comes from Patreon users, including Blaze Fusky, Shaman the Photon Wizard, Fayun, Oliver Fox, Link Shell, Skipper the Otter, Energize the Wolf, Sweetie Darling, Cat Nook, Parafen, Jake the Husky, Anu Fox, Riley the Wusky, Binary Paws, Fireline Coyote, Craig the Husky, Kodiaks, Neshoba Silverwolf, Loop, Raven Snowfall, Tukiri, Red Maple, Lieutenant Fox, Doxy, Meru Snowmew, D Otter, Ski Sharp, Nether Lynx, Josh the Kazoo, Kilo Big Cat Coyote, Wop, Adrian the Husky, Archon the Four-Eyed Dragon, Leon Wolfheart, Rourke the Awoo, Jax the Husky, Gwen the Bat, Decibel Fox, Zoopy Zoo the Oreo-Tiggy, Vertical Feline, Fuzzy the Fox, Crazy Wolf, A Certain Horse, and Gaia Wellen.
Additional support comes from Twitter users Commander Wolf 3, Alpha Werefox, Magic 7 Wolf, Kazro Fox, Myron the Fluffy, Fishykin, XSS Fox, Cody Fox with 3 X's, Dark Wolf Beats 14, Drop Table Foxes, Dapper Panther, Jesse A. Carver, Cyrus L, Z-Lig on Twitter at Stealthy Dragon, 12 on Twitter at The Lion Thing, Shua on Twitter at Pulsing Panther, Coda Winter on Twitter at Dakota Wolf 12. From Telegram users, Mike Chrome. And from YouTube channels, Hayu Martin.
Additional support for FurCast comes from Devin D. Parlett and the Furry Hockey League at furryhockeyleague.com. Macro Wolf at macrowolf.com. Shisha Sheppy, who's a good boy. Dark Fox DK, who says CJ is the goodest boy. Harry Who Ink Pen Mouse at harrywho.com. Patty, who says what Socks says is true. Socks, who says what Patty says is not true. Nectris the Koi Dog Rogue, furry tabletop enthusiast since 2009. Fishmeister Cod, still not a furry since February 2011. Fisk_McTaggart on FA, will draw for food. Cody's Customs, specializing in gas and diesel truck builds. Little Sunshine, and Scootaloo with the unofficial XBN Xbox app at patreon.com/horseapps. FurCast's #1 Wimpy fan, Tyler the Wusky. Chris Dale on FA, specializing in toonie art. The Church of Issoire, worshipping lynx since the year Tuft. X the Fox, the real blue fox. Okay, how long do you expect us to keep reading that? Like, seriously, you're not... He has a suit. He's standing right there. He's always blue in his heart. You're not the real blue fox. It's kind of change your read because it ain't true. #fake news. #sad. Fight me. Kumo, wishing everyone a :3 day. To Bunny Boy, who says at Paradox, bunnies are friends, not food. Super Dwarf at anthrolinks.net. Skycorp, creating transformative technologies for mature audiences at skycorp.global. Zoopy Zoe, supporting Tim Tam Anonymous meetings. Kranos, who says Sergals are rubbish. Meds the Fox and Mississippi Anthropomorphics. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/msanthro. Techwin, TC Fox, and Kaiwana of the Infosec Den. Sylvan Scott, on Fur Affinity with macro, micro, and hyper fiction stories. Shadowclaw Studios. Check out our Facebook page for links to our gaming streams. The Feline Support Alliance, who says... I'm not saying it. It's the reverse of WOM. So you can fill in the hole yourself.
I mean, is mowing all that bad?
No, I'm not saying it. You can keep sitting here. I'm not saying it. Absolutely not.
You sure? Because you could just...
No. Tell him to go write a new read. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I swear to God, no. Go. No, I'm walking out. No, just leave. No, I'm not doing it. Chacket Airlines. We still and always will land on our feet. Silver Gatoman at patreon.com/silvergatoman. And Cheetah Paws for a daily dose of bulgy arts. Support him at patreon.com/cheetahpaws.
Support for FurCast comes from Patreon, PayPal, Bitcoin, and from listeners like you. To become a patron and learn more about supporting FurCast, visit furcast.fm/donate.
This
is XBN.
You're listening to FurCast.
Here I'll stay, waiting for the tide to turn the sail away. On these breaking waves of hurt, I try to leave behind this savage world. Maybe someday I'll return. Patiently, you wait for me on the shore, thinking time is all I'll need to give you more, but guarantees I cannot give you no, 'cause I'm a shipwreck sinking slow. And promises they break, and I'm through making mistakes. Love's done nothing but cut me up and carry me away. So now I hide my heart, it's buried somewhere deep at the bottom of the ocean. 'Cause I've been torn apart by what I thought was love, and it left me broken. So now I hide my heart, far beneath the waves at the bottom of the ocean. If only I could get to you, what's buried beneath the blue of this ocean. And promises they break, and I'm through making mistakes. Love's done nothing but cut me up and carry me away. So now I hide my heart, it's buried somewhere deep at the bottom of the ocean. 'Cause I've been torn apart by what I thought was love, and it left me broken. So now I hide my heart, far beneath the waves at the bottom of the ocean. If only I could get to you, what's buried beneath the blue of this
This is the Zana Broadcasting Network.
After searching, trying to find you, I thought I'd lost my luck. But I never thought in a million years that you would just walk right up. Now that I found your love, I could never let you down. Even when the times get rough, no, nothing's gonna stop us now. We'll grow, and we'll never be alone. And no matter where we roam, we'll be glorious. We'll be glorious, and you know it's true. Now we're glowing life or death, and you and I will never giving in, never giving in, never giving in. And you and I will never gonna rest. Keep up the dream like it's life or death, and you and I will never giving in, never giving in. We're never giving, never giving. We'll go.
That was glorious from the Rock Dog original soundtrack. And coming up next is something very important to me. Hope you guys enjoy this. A little different than what we normally play. It's a live copy of Good For Me. We'll be back. You guys are listening to FurCast.
Thank you to T-Mobile for these lovely coloured bracelets.
Thank you, the Hollywood Bowl. Thank you.
This is on YouTube, by the way.
You just made our dreams come true. Thank you. I can't even speak.
It was an absolutely amazing concert, and it is on YouTube in 4K. In fact, there's actually two versions of the Above and Beyond concert on YouTube. Although I will warn you, the original one that they did, the video recording, the audio is way different than the album that they sold. But what I like about this Hollywood Bowl version is the album that they sold and the Blu-ray and what's on YouTube are all identical. The audio is the same exact master. And it's incredible. So shout out to Above and Beyond. That was good for me live at the Hollywood Bowl. And we are technically back. And Farrah, you have something you want to show off on our for those who haven't gotten the chance to watch our video feed, our desks are motorized, and you've done a thing where if this desk goes up.
Explain then. Your desk.
Yeah.
Is motorized.
Yes.
The other desk is not.
Right. So when it comes up, it just exposes like
a mess of wires and cabling.
Right.
And my idea for you was, why don't we get a custom blackboard or black dry erase board that we can draw on?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to get one for that desk.
Because these desks are 30 by 70 inches, by the way.
Was like $350.
Pretty big.
So I told him, fuck that. I bought $10 worth of paint, chalkboard paint, and about $6 worth of foam board.
Yep.
And I painted foam board with chalk paint or chalkboard paint.
Yes, you did.
And
He's very proud of it.
stuck it to the bottom of the desk.
Yep. So there you go.
But you were worried because I was like, oh, I got a blackboard. You're like, we can't have chalk in the studio.
Yeah, I was like, no, that was basically my response. It was like, fun idea, but I'm like, chalk in the studio? Mm-mm. I was like, no way.
Yeah,
not gonna
dust and all that.
Yeah,
That'd
it would
be a
just,
bad
it would,
idea.
but
I educated him on chalkboard markers.
Chalkboard marker things?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was asking in chat what these are.
Yeah.
So, of course, my camera sort of captured, well, it doesn't really capture it because it's all covered up now, but yeah.
I can't focus with that.
Yeah, if you, let's see, is that camera working? No, that camera's not working either. Yeah, that camera, that camera works.
There we go.
That one there.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah, you kind of see it.
I'm not sure where it is.
But yeah,
There's.
it was that black one, yeah. So, yeah, cameras are still a little bit of a mess in this room until we figure out where exactly we want everything, but, yeah. And what are you doing, Pharaoh?
I mean, I enjoyed the suggestions from chat.
Did you see all the dicks I drew?
Yeah, Pharaoh you drew I'm surprised you know how to draw dicks. It's just, I didn't know that you had that ability.
I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm like, you need some work there, sweetheart. But
yeah.
I'm no artist. I'm a crafter, but I'm no artist.
then I'm not sure you know what a cat stick looks
I wouldn't know if you're a crafter. I'd call you crafty. You're
Yeah,
crafty.
he's
You're a
crafty.
crafty fox. I don't know.
Comes with the territory.
Comes with, yeah. And there's also cabling that you had to cut a huge hole out of it so that the cabling could go through it. Yeah, we got.
I didn't cut the foam board, so I was like, fuck it. I don't know how long it has to be technically, and the table goes up higher than it normally does. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it as is.
Yep.
And then I cut out a little square for the one cables.
Yep. We'll figure it out.
Improvise.
We'll make it work.
I think it works already.
We also have to cut a huge chunk off of it underneath there because it goes down way lower than it needs to. But yeah.
Well, if we keep it like that, then CG can't play footsie with me. So
You know how
it's a
much
win-win.
that would upset him.
Win-win.
Mm-hmm.
He can't crawl under the table to attack us.
Yeah, that's true.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
There are more benefits than you even know
Yeah.
that are available for that.
Do you mind if can you hit one of the lower buttons so we can sit down?
Oh,
no.
Oh, you
No.
don't want to show
crap.
off his artwork?
Oh, did you want to show off the artwork?
Do I have to?
Do it.
Okay, but there's a lot of people who listen to our show who only listen on audio. So can you find? I tell you what, if you start reading an article, I will show off the artwork while you're reading.
I already
it.
got an article.
You already get okay.
I mean, I had one too, so.
All right, let me just switch the graphics over here. It's back to news. There we go. Bring up the graphics and let's grab a track. How about
I'm a little bit taller than you, so this doesn't. I mean, I can.
What are you doing?
He's trying to like not slouch to speak into the mic so he can be taller than you.
Wow. Anyway,
I'm a little taller.
You gonna read a news article like that?
Wait, I shall. Wait, ready?
Okay.
You're precious.
My waiter skills here. No, a monkey cannot copyright his selfies. Federal appeal court rules recently.
Oh, that
That was
sucks.
a while ago.
Yeah, that was.
No, that was like.
Oh, they did it again? Or...
Well, wasn't it the photos were owned by the monkey?
Yeah, I remember there's contention on who owned it, whether the owner of the monkey or the monkey did.
Yeah, and it was like
So-
Wikimedia or whatever was
Yeah.
like saying that it's public domain and then using
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it went to court and then I thought Wikimedia won that though. I thought they won that. It was whoever pushes the shutter owns the photo.
Except I remember you guys going on about that shit. You're referencing that thing. So what, they came back to it?
I guess so.
I believe they came back to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me just.
This is important for you guys.
Yeah.
Important for you monkeys. You monkey furs out there.
You can just put it there.
Just not gonna. Too
There you
heavy. Too much.
Doesn't want to make a big bass noise.
Haven't done my waiting skills in a while. Hurts my wrist. You know, I'm not practiced in wrist motions.
I love that.
I'm sorry. Every time I get a cramp, I just get that look of, oh, you need to practice more.
Practice more. Practice makes perfect.
There's a lot of dicks on here.
He could add a few more. There's still some diversity you can represent there.
Well, the chat room kept saying to draw other creatures, so I started with just a normal 2 balls and a shaft.
Yeah. The
most basic
dick there is.
Dick there is. Yes, the basic of dicks.
Anyway, aren't you supposed to be reading an article about
I am supposed to read basic. Then I went to canine, and then like some monotonous creature. I think you're not.
I know. I can switch it with my phone.
Oh. There we go.
He's
I did
distracted.
Mau 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 for you, too.
What is that? What is this?
Like I said, I don't think he knows what a cat dick looks like.
What?
It is a mutant radioactive cat dick.
It's a human cat dick.
I love the spider.
Anyhow, a monkey can't sue over the copyright infringement of his selfies because he's not human and therefore has no standing to do so in a federal court appeal ruled on Monday. We must determine whether a monkey may sue humans, corporations, and companies for damages and injunctive relief arising from claims of the copyright infringement. Judge Carlos B. wrote the opinion on the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. We concluded that this monkey and all animals, since they are not human, lack statutory standing under the Copyright Acts. The case involved a series of heart-melting snaps of Naruto,
Wait, what?
a grinning crest macaw. In
Okay.
2011, British nature photographer David Slater set up the camera in an Indonesian forest, and Naruto somehow tripped the camera himself. Slater was not at the scene. Essentially, the photograph's animal took his own selfie, arguing people for ethical treatment of animals. PETA sued Slater when he sold some of the photos in 2015. I love how PETA sued him, or tried to. Always pushing the boundaries of animal rights, PETA argued that Naruto owned the rights to the photo, calling the images original works of authorship, as in the claims of whoever pushes the shutter owns the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I pushed the wrong camera button on when I swapped it back, so it was just on you.
Yeah. I'm just like,
I didn't realize. Sorry. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now I can sit down.
it's hot enough, so you know.
Yeah, that's right. It's hot in here.
It is really hot in here.
So PETA made it worse? Is that what I'm hearing?
PETA always makes it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PETA's initial lawsuit was dismissed on the grounds that the monkey lacks standing to sue over copyright. Monkey see, monkey sue is not good law, noted the ruling.
Ouch. Just ouch.
The fact that was uttered by the judge.
Seriously?
Yes, monkey
A
see,
quote from the judge.
monkey sue
monkey sue
is not good law.
What state was this in?
Fuck.
Monkey see, monkey sue. That's a good show title. Monkey see, monkey sue.
That is actually pretty good.
God damn it.
But PETA appealed, arguing the U.S. Copyright Act does not specify that the work's authors must be human. Both sides eventually reached a settlement, with Slater agreeing to donate 25% of the future income from the Naruto photos to protect the habitats where the crested macaws live. But the Ninth Circuit Court still decided to rule in the important case. The court...
I thought that deserved a ding.
Mm-hmm.
What did?
Monkey see, monkey sue.
Monkey see, monkey sue.
It's just,
The court didn't sound very happy with PETA, saying in a footnote that the organization seemed to employ Naruto as an unwitting pawn in its ideological goals. PETA didn't seem particularly close to Naruto, even though it sued Slater as a next friend of the monkey, the court noted. Next of friend.
yeah, PETA just... You try to do good, but then you just kind of...
Monkey see, monkey unfriend.
Monkey see, monkey unfriend.
We have no idea whether animals wish to own copyrights or own bank accounts to hold their royalties from sales of pictures, wrote Judge N. Randy Smith in the concurring opinion. PETA's general counsel, Jeff Kerr, said that in a statement that Naruto was discriminated against simply because he's not a non-human animal. The court only ruled on Naruto's standings concerning the Copyright Act, Kerr noted. He said that the non-human animals still have a constitutional right to bring a case to federal court when they have been wronged.
Somebody in the chat says that either this article is old or there are new developments in the story. What's the date on that?
4/24/2018. This is an old article. Like, we've read the original article, which was about monkey see, monkey sue.
Yeah.
or about the whole Copyrights Act.
Right, yeah.
This
No, I
was the
remember
fact that the case finally closed.
Okay.
Okay, I see. Okay, so that's the update, is that it's over.
Yes, the case is now officially over. It's done. It's seen its day in court, and now it's finally concluded.
Right.
And the court ruled that the monkey had no...
Monkey see, monkey not sue.
Yes.
Yes.
So technically, he didn't have to give any money to PETA at all whatsoever, but he gave 25% of the money from those pictures to help macaw habitats. So
Good for him. It's pretty sweet.
Which the court was upset about because he gave money to PETA.
Right.
Which
kind of
it sounds like
it kind of ruined the
manipulative to get money, and it's just like
so the court. That's why the court didn't want PETA to get any money because they said it was manipulative and.
Also, we're friends of the animal. No, you're not really.
Yeah.
So PETA didn't actually get the money in this case. Literally, the guy just was like, "Okay, I'll make an arrangement with you. I'm going to donate 25% of whatever this image earns to macaw habitat saving." So he isn't even giving it to PETA.
That's a good way to handle that, I suppose. It's like best case scenario, giving it to the habitat.
But I didn't know that non-humans still have a constitutional right to bring a case to federal court when been wronged.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not sure about that. Are we sure about that?
Apparently.
Pretty sure it talks about humans in the Constitution and only humans.
Because I always hear people debate that stuff in chat rooms all the time. They'll be like, well, if you transformed into an anthro, you'd have no rights and they would just kill you. And it's like,
I mean, technically.
They would just keep you in a lab forever. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm sure that's how it would work.
Well, I mean, legally speaking, most laws only refer to humans, so
there might be
means you could go kill someone, and
there might be a law that says that there's an exception to that in a strange circumstance, though, like in the circumstance that like a law officer determines that it is worth giving that thing. X creature has said rights in certain circumstance, right? Like if an animal's being tortured, type deal. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like. I don't know. People like to have that debate all the time without any evidence.
They do have the whole animal cruelty stuff. And,
yeah.
That is just, you'd have to really go through fine-tooth comb with all the wording.
Somebody says we need a lawyer. Boozy! We need Boozy.
This is true.
Yeah, we need Boozy.
Where
are you, Boozy?
The NHRP, Non-Human Rights Project.
Not NHRP? Oh, wow. So it's got a ring to it. NHRP.
I'm assuming they're all for legality.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, okay. So somebody told me in chat that the law says people but never defines people. Yeah, that would be your sketchy area.
Interesting.
Thank you.
But I mean, is this the organization that's fighting for the monkey to be able to own copyright?
No, I think this is just
Good, because that would be dumb. That sounds like something that PETA would do, but an actual animal rights organizations wouldn't do. 9 out of 10 Americans support non-human rights, apparently.
Well, because Americans care more about their dogs than they do about other people.
Especially millennials.
Other humans.
Yeah.
Let me specify that, since we've already established people as ambiguous.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. Oh, somebody in chat says Boozy's at Anthro, Ohio, so that's why we haven't heard from him. Anyway. Cool.
U.S. law is very complicated, to be honest.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many freaking loopholes in the fact that you can just kind of take one, and they're purposely...
Ambiguous?
Your can says Grill Master on it.
Yes. Yeah, have you not noticed that the Coke cans have weird words on them, like share a Coke with America? There's one that says that.
Oh, it's one of their campaign things.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it was names, but I didn't know that they were going to like just...
They're not doing names, they're doing people that you share with. So share a Coke with MVP, teammate, soulmate, Grillmaster, America.
Yeah. The other thing that people don't realize about law is how fucking slow it is.
Yeah.
Like, I have a friend right now who's dealing with some bullshit that he was accused of, and it's really, really bad shit, right? On the level of, like, violence and murder type shit. And he's been just waiting for probably, like, 8 months to go to court and deal with it and have them go through everything. And it's like...
Well, you can actually draw those things out, too. That's why some people don't even go to prison, because you can literally
You can just draw it out forever, yeah.
And some legal... You have to have the money for it. Some legal allegations can go on for, like, 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah, you also have to know the technicalities of every word. What's its defining meaning? What does it mean? Its ambiguity.
Well, the other thing is, even if something happens in court, you can also appeal it. So then you have to wait for that. And then it's like, there's all kinds of cases of people being like either trapped in like a limbo state, either in prison or just in a way where they're really limited.
I'm pretty sure America has the worst legality. We're so technical with every little thing. Other people just
I don't know if we're
not technical though. We just leave. We're technical on the technicality.
Technical the technicalities of the words. That's why you'll have people like literally sifting through like a 900-page document looking for one word
out of place, and then you could use that single word.
To use it as a loophole, like the whole people doesn't define people thing.
Well, yeah, but that's when you get to the point where a case-by-case basis, that's where a judge and a jury help to determine whether or not. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are cases where some stupid little wordy bullshit helps with the case, but there's other cases where everybody goes, no, fuck that. Like,
and then you get down to it, even though you go through all of that technicality and stuff, it comes down to whether you can convince the jury that you're a kind, nice, sweet person that they want to hand, cookies to or something.
And then you waste $50,000 in lawyer fees, and then...
Yeah, you could have just been pretty and be fine.
Yep. So...
Yay, U.S. law. Sorry, Boozy.
No, law is not defined by the majority. Law is defined by the wording.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk to Boozy about it sometime.
Well, someone in the chat room was saying law is defined by the majority. I disagree. Like, in the sense of ideology, yes. In the sense of written law, no.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
that's why we still have this whole Second Amendment bullshit.
We should talk to Boozy, though. I'd like to talk to him about that whole, like, that common debate that at least my friends have in the internet of, like, if you suddenly transformed into, like, fantasy creature, what would happen to you? And people like to have a very negative perspective on humanity on how it would handle that. Yeah. And I don't know if that's necessarily the case, and I'd love to talk to Boozy about how it would
Well, I mean,
take
you
place.
watch enough Star Trek, yeah.
And there's also a lot of people who say, well, it doesn't matter what the law says because, if it's, it depends on how it happens and where it happens and all that stuff, but yeah.
Then they'd make a big, huge deal out of it, media-wise, before anything could even be figured out, because, oh my god, somebody just turned into something non-human that's still sentient, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Watch, somebody's pushing through laws right now just about that, just because they can. We've got so many laws that are like, why do these exist?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Cool.
I've always wanted to try one of these fruits. This is an article.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you going off on your own little tangent. Gotcha.
The library shut down after stinky fruit mistaken for a gas leak.
Nice. Well, to be fair, isn't the smell that they inject intentionally supposed to smell like, I think it's rotting egg,
sulfur.
right?
It's sulfur, yeah.
Or sulfur. Yeah. So that makes perfect sense why that would happen.
Naturally, it doesn't smell like anything, so we put
Is it still sulfur hexafluoride or no? No, that's the low sulfur hexafluoride you could actually breathe. That's the gas that actually makes your voice lower because it's heavier than oxygen.
Okay.
Which I believe gas itself is heavier than oxygen too.
But didn't you say it was like a fruit smell or something?
No, it's that durian fruit.
Oh, the one that smelled like rotting meat or something like that.
Yeah.
It's actually like, it tastes really good, but you can barely get through it because the smell is so horrible.
I'm just reading about natural gas. You're so easily distracted. It's so funny.
Smell gas, act fast. Like, well, it's a skunk.
Anyway.
The odor of the durian fruit has been compared to turpentine and onions garnished with gym socks.
Wow.
It's called mercaptan. Is added to natural gas.
Yeah, somebody just threw that in there. Thanks, Jet.
And that chemical contains sulfur, so that's how it happens.
Have you ever had a durian fruit?
Never have.
I feel like we should eat one. I feel like it'd be awful.
I mean, I have limited sense of smell, so yeah. I could probably eat it.
Well, it's supposed to be like really like deliciously fruity and like.
It's just the smell makes you want to gag.
You can't smell. You're not supposed to smell it. You're supposed to just eat it, which is weird to me because
it's the freaking plant's self-defense mechanism to get things to not eat it.
Isn't the smell of petrichor the rain smell? Isn't that also plants like their defense mechanism or something?
Yeah.
Or it's like when they get hit with rain, it's like they go into shock and they release that smell.
it's
the freshly mowed lawn.
Yeah, freshly mowed lawn. It's the stress smell.
Okay,
plants, yeah. Yeah,
of your grass.
There's a lot of scent communication with plants.
Of your grass screaming to one another about being their heads chopped off.
You just go up to a plant and it's just like, wow, fuck you.
Smells great.
Or like, oh yeah, I agree.
Oh god.
Turpentine onions and gym socks is the durian smell.
Okay.
Things were out of odor. Damn it.
What?
Things were out of odor.
I actually spell odor.
Yes.
What's with like the bad puns? God
Always.
damn.
At the University Library in Melbourne, Australia. Of course it's in Australia. There's a lot of, Australia has become the next Florida.
Well, specifically Perth.
No, this is Melbourne.
Well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes those, Floridian things happen outside of Florida, like Ohio.
On Saturday afternoon with fears of a gas leak, but the smell that aroused suspicion was no leaky pipe, it was a notorious stinky fruit. Around 500 students and staffers were evacuated from the RMIT University Library so that 40 firefighters, including masked crews, could investigate the source of the smell. According to the Herald Sun, the culprit was a durian fruit left rotting in a cupboard. Wow.
That would just make it worse.
Melbourne's Metropolitan Fire Brigade said in a release. So it's like a ticking time bomb. You literally could just store a durian fruit in someone's basement in a rafter.
Oh my god, I don't even... Dinosaur eggs.
It literally is like a dinosaur egg, a rotten dinosaur egg.
That's not exactly what I meant, but you go ahead, go with
What's
that.
dinosaur egg?
Navy terminology for the dumb shit that people do in the engine room. Okay, so in the engine room, it's really hot. Typically on watch, you weren't allowed to leave, so sometimes the guys would just shit in a bag, wrap it up with duct tape, and shove it somewhere for people to find, and it was called a dinosaur egg.
Wow.
Taking time.
Wow.
There's a lot of dumb shit that happens in Navy engineering.
I learned something new today.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit I haven't told you about happens in the Navy.
In the Navy.
In the Navy.
Can sail the seven seas.
Beware the dinosaur eggs.
I don't know. Nothing will top Sozin and his...
Just imagine one of these was found 50 years later.
Well, then it's probably fine.
What, dinosaur egg?
50 years later, it's probably fine. I don't know, maybe.
In a room that's been over 100 degrees most of the time.
It's probably like a sarcophagus. It's like...
It was disgusting. So...
No, this durian fruit almost reminds me of Sozin's house.
Sozin's house.
Did you mean his nest?
What? Explain.
When we went down there for one of the parties, one of his roommates left Italian wedding soup.
Oh.
We didn't know what it was, but backwards a little bit. There was a bag on top of the fridge.
Okay.
And it was fine there, but the container itself was at its fragile state where it had decayed enough to where any movement would break the seal.
Okay. Okay.
Well, someone touched the bag, not knowing that this was a biohazard.
A biohazard.
Chemical warfare in a bag. And all of a sudden, the entire... So the bag got touched. The container leaked. It started to leak into the bottom of the bag, which then began to emit an odor that filled the entire complex. And it was worse than a rotting flesh body. I can even explain to you the smell. It was so pungent. And we were trying to find out where the smell was coming from. We thought it was the garbage, so he changed the garbage. And it wasn't until he was like, moved the bag on the fridge and he almost threw up. And the idea was to take it out, like throw it out.
Right.
But since he just changed the garbage, he didn't want to throw it in the garbage. So he's holding the bag where we still don't know what it is. Like, no fucking idea. The bag is sealed tight. We weren't opening it. And it started to then leak. Like melting through the bag.
Right.
Because this was a biohazard toxic chemical now. And as he ran to get out of the house, it dribbled drops.
It was spreading.
And it spread, and it smelled so bad. Like, I cannot... There is no odor in my entire life that I can ever compare it to.
Really?
It was so pungent and strong and disgusting. Like, I've been around a cadaver before.
Cadavers are bad.
Yes, it's worse than that. It is worse than rotting flesh, worse than a dead body, worse than
Was it worse than a room full of like 20 cats that were stuck in there for like 2 weeks?
Yes, I've been in that kind of a house already.
I had to clean that. So
It's worse than cat piss. It was, I cannot, again, by far a biohazard smell.
Dead crabs.
Worse.
Dead crabs on the beach.
And he finally ran out with this bag, which we still didn't know what it was, and whipped it, tried to get it into the dumpster, and Sozen is not very sports-like.
Oh, no.
And it smashes into the side of the dumpster and falls down, and that was the only reason why we learned what it was.
Oh, God.
Because in that spilt out rotted, molded, fermented Italian wedding soup. That apparently, like 2 weeks prior, one of his roommates moved out of the fridge and put it on top to put something else in the fridge, but then forgot it.
How do you forget it? Just look
And
up.
no one ever thought to touch it for like 2 weeks in hot summer days.
All 2 weeks, though? Like...
I mean, I found like the rotting onions downstairs in like 3 days. I'm sorry.
Well, the container was sealed until it got bumped, and it literally then...
Okay, I do remember that onion smell in the kitchen. That drove me nuts.
Oh, that was so bad.
Until I found that. I was literally searching all over the kitchen for that, and then I was like, oh, it was just, they were on top of the...
Yeah, I found those, threw them out, and was just like, fuck these.
Yep.
Every time we have onions, they just like die.
I didn't realize onions smelled that bad when they rot either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you ever want a good story, just ask Sozen about Italian wedding soup.
Just like experiment with this, like get another thing of it, and then...
Oh, God, I can't... Like, just thinking about the smell, like, it makes, like... Oh, it's like, we had, like, it, like, clouded the air, and, like, it stuck to you, so, like, you know, like, when the air's thick and humid? That's how the smell was. Like, it wouldn't leave. And, like, he poured a bottle of, ripped open the cap of Febreze and poured it through his house where the drops had fallen.
Right.
Because spraying them with anything else did not kill the odor.
Right.
Yeah.
So we wasted, like, thankfully we have fursuits because we had, like, 2 bottles of Febreze just dumped across his floor to just eat this odor. Anyhow, back to durian fruits. The sort of fruit-driven flight would surprise few who have come in contact with the durian, a native to Southeast Asia, with the odor that has been compared to turpentine onions garnished with gym socks, hot poop garbage, and gasoline. I like the smell of gasoline.
I don't mind the smell of gasoline, yeah.
I really like the smell. If durian smelled like gasoline, I would be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't go out and
It's
sniff
not
gas,
terrible,
but, like, I like when I pour gas.
But you mix it with gym shocks and
Hot poop garbage.
No, that's not going to be a show title.
I just love that in quotations. Hot poop garbage.
You are 15.
He never aged.
Well, what sounds worse? When you say shit or when you say poop?
Poop definitely sounds worse.
Funny.
Yeah. Poop sounds like a childish word.
It sounds like a childish word, so it just seems out of place, so you just kind of end up laughing.
Yeah.
Like hot shit garbage does not sound like as funny as hot poop garbage.
Exactly. You giggle at it.
Anyhow. Although aficionados relish durians for their creamy, sweet interior, the fruits are so polarizing that they are banned from Singapore's subway systems and many hotels around Asia, according to the Time. Once authorities knew there was no longer danger, the building was reopened. However, Victoria State's Environmental Protection Authority still has the task of removing this foul-smelling fruit from the premises, according to The Age.
Well then.
I'm just laughing because the durian fruit is like, you have to go farm those in Zelda.
Yeah.
Just imagine Link having to carry around like 100 of those disgustingly smelling fruits just because he needs hearts up.
I want to try one. Like, does it only smell when you open it, or does it like smell on the outside too? I feel like it's only when you open it.
I'm not sure. It might be just a reaction, to being attacked. So
I feel like you have to cut into it for it to release the smell. Because if that was sitting in a cupboard, it wouldn't have smelled until it started to rot.
Well, yeah, then it was rotting, and it's just like, ew.
All right. You guys ready for emails?
We take a quick 3-minute break, just turn the AC for just a 1-song break.
Sure.
It's really hot in here.
I mean, I had like a little thing, but yeah.
You know what? Turn on the AC. I'll mute our mics and not mute hers. Let's see that. So it'll be noisy for a second. But
It's quick, so I just thought it was funny.
it's all good. Go ahead.
All right. Sugar crash after tanker flips chocolate bars traffic on Polish highway.
Oh.
The sight of traffic stacking up on a weekend had to be a familiar one for the commuters and road trippers plying Poland's major A2 highway on Wednesday. But as the minutes whipped by while the cars sat still, it had to dawn on them that something was different this time. This was no vanilla traffic jam.
No vanilla traffic jam. That's good. That's good.
And they were right. It was a chocolate one. A tanker carrying at least a dozen tons of liquid chocolate flipped onto a highway median near Słupka in western Poland. The driver survived, emerging with minor injuries, and then being taken for treatment at a hospital. But the tanker's contents spilled across multiple lanes on both sides of the roadway, clogging the major artery with sugar.
So good. What a sweet crash, says somebody in chat.
God damn it. As anyone acquainted with Willy Wonka probably suspected, this dreamlike river of chocolate grew rather complicated rather quickly for first responders.
Apparently dogs are barking for some reason.
Do you inspect?
I don't know.
I think you noticed the reflections.
Oh, the reflections. Wow.
You're fine. Come here. Okay. Just take a gander at this footage by local media for not real. I don't really feel like that. And try not to shudder when about halfway through you hear a sucking sounds of the boots of the cleanup crew make while tramping through the thick layer of chocolatey muck.
Oh, that actually sounds
That
like...
sounds awful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Removing the chocolate will take a couple of hours. Oh my god, what?
I don't know. They're very concernicus about something. There you go.
Oh, you don't care. Don't even look at me like that. Anyway, removing the chocolate will take a couple of hours. The chocolate congeals on the pavement, and it's worse than snow.
Now they're barking through the door. So the dog out there is barking, so another dog in here is barking.
So let her out to let her investigate.
I don't know. Probably something outside.
Yeah.
Because the window's open out in the lounge, too.
She's probably hearing something.
Yeah.
She was terrified of country music.
This is true. They were blaring country music earlier, and she was terrified.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, at the park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One member of the fire brigade told on-site told local broadcaster TVN 24, and the mess was not confined just to the immediate area around the track. Unfortunately, he added, before the motorway was closed, the drivers drove it for several kilometers. Still, as far as vehicle wrecks go, this one had a sweet finish. God damn it.
Coco crash.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen so many smiles on the faces of emergency rescue folks and police officers at the scene of an accident. Marlena Kukawaka, a media officer for the Słupka police department, told the Polish broadcaster. And that's despite the fact that they still had a ton of work to do.
There you go.
Literal ton. Yay.
Wow.
And we'll just leave you with the images of the crash. Yeah, chocolate on the road.
Now all I can think of is like that really creepy song from Willy Wonka, like the original one, where it's like,
yeah.
these wings are ever flowing.
No direction.
Where we're going.
Everyone can just go find it. Go find it. Just
I just sent you both of those links that she read, so. He's the person who keeps track of the articles, by the way.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yep. There we go.
Yep.
Now I want to hear that like little clip from Willy Wonka.
I'm sure you can find it really easily.
What is it?
The tunnel scene from the original Willy Wonka and the
It gets
Chocolate
really fucking creepy, and then like there's like things being murdered in the background, and like everyone's like,
what the fuck just happened in this movie? And then we just like move on, like this didn't happen.
This one?
Yes. Wait, no, wait.
This is kind of strange. I'm gonna be sick.
I can take a joke with
this. Is it right here?
Yeah. When he starts singing.
Way of knowing
He's singing.
which direction we are going. There's no knowing where we're rowing or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a blowing?
Oh my god.
How you know this is a 70s movie?
Yeah.
That scene.
All right. We can switch over to emails.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Emails. Hey, the graphics work. All right, cool.
The email theme, of course.
Oh god, do I have to do the email theme?
Yeah, of course you do. Until we record a new one.
No, let's not do it for now.
Do a quick snippet.
No.
Snip it.
It's not playing it that annoys me, it's loading it that annoys me.
Do a quick snippet.
All right, sightseeing
snippet of
suggestions.
audio.
I'm going to mute the other mics except mine for the air conditioner. Sightseeing suggestions. Hi, all. I'm Antares the Moo. Antares the Moo from Melbourne, Australia. Been a long-time follower / lurker of FurCast, and I've got a couple questions for you all. I am doing a road trip from Ohio through to Toronto, and I am calling, I think they mean culling, through Buffalo, in the way back to Ohio in mid to late September. Do you have any recommendations for local sites, attractions, or interesting places to visit around the Buffalo area? Ha! Good one. The only thing I've come up with so far is the abandoned train station, which looks amazing. It is quite amazing, actually.
It's not abandoned anymore.
Yeah, it's not really abandoned anymore. They're fixing it up now. But apart from that, I know little to nothing about your region, save for a brief overview from Wikipedia and how you've described the area on your show. Anyway, thanks for everything you do. FurCast never fails to put a smile on my face. And Tara's the Moo. Off-air question. Not sure about your policy on catching up with fans/listeners in particular. Fans like me who aren't as actively involved in fandom, but I'm always keen for a meal and a drink or two with you guys since I'm passing through the area. Okay, I would totally be keen to grab drinks and stuff. That'd be great. Or just in general, like go out to eat and chill. So definitely let us know, like give us a heads up like a week in advance if you can, when you like exactly when you're in the area. As for things to do, I mean, there's like a huge, in September, there's like a really nice park that I usually go to do photography stuff. I've done some like urban exploration because there's all the old like grain elevators and stuff in like the industrial area. As for like what else to do in the city, I don't know. It's really... Yeah, there's Niagara
there's
Falls.
like there's the waterfront now, but I don't really keep track of all the.
There's like specific events that go on there. Yeah, if you time it right.
I mean, that's literally when my mom and my brother came. They're just like, oh, we're gonna go see the falls. We'll come back an hour later. Okay, we saw the falls.
Yeah, it's like you see the falls, and like there's an amusement park on the Canadian side of the falls. But other than that, I just
TC Fox, Susie Q's.
Suzy Q's, yes. Oh, dude. Speaking of which, TC, by the way, we tried to go to Suzy Q's yesterday. So, for those who haven't heard of it before, because we've talked about it a couple times, Suzy Q's is like this little shack on the waterfront in Buffalo, and it's owned by this old Southern couple. And you go in there, and it's a tiny little like hole in the wall place. And the waitress is literally Susie, and her husband cooks, and it's proper American Southern barbecue. Like they cook the meat for like
barbecue sauce is delicious.
Like they cook the meat for like 17 hours in a smoker. It's incredible, and it's super cheap. Well, anyway, because it's like a real small family-run thing, you have to call ahead of time because a lot of times they run out of food and they close because they have to guess at how much they're going to sell because they have to cook the food for so long. And so I called them. And we were going to go, and they were like, oh, we shouldn't be, like, out of food until, like, 6 or 7. And then we were like, oh, well, we'll go there at 5. And then I called them at, like, 4, and I'm like, okay, we're going to go. And the answering machine picks up, and it's like, we've closed, we ran out of food. And I'm like, fuck. Because I was so excited.
So disappointed.
And it's like, it's one of those businesses, like, they're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I think even Wednesday sometimes they're closed. And they're only open like sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Because it's like it's like a retirement thing for them. Like
it's hard to go there whenever you feel like it because when you feel like shit's open.
It's one of those places that like you have to call ahead because half the time they're either closed or they're out of food or whatever. But anyway, Suzy Q's is amazing though.
Well, Mammoser's in Hamburg got rated as one of the best places for wings inside of Buffalo, which I told you about. It's really on the corner.
Where?
Yeah.
Mammoser's.
Never heard of it.
Yep.
Is that like the place they started with wings?
No, that's the Anchor Bar, and Anchor Bar's wings are not that good.
I forget.
That just somebody mentioned that in chat. I'm like, this just sounds like a Navy place.
Have you ever been to
No.
Oh, my brother works there.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the lead chef, I think, or lead whatever. I've been there a few times. It's pretty good. But anyway, but yeah, as for what to do, I mean, honestly, if you give us a heads up. First of all, if you're going to be in Toronto, I mean, I go to Toronto all the time as well to hang out with the Toronto Furs. So if you give us a heads up, like a week in advance, chances are we can plan something. Chances are somebody else will be in the area or we'll just do a thing. I mean, TC Fox is going to be here for like a month. So that's going to be a thing. Let Pharaoh copy that. And we are going to mark that as completed read live. So there we go. All right. Let me see. Whoops. Let me see if I can log into the email on the studio computer really quick. Because I have an email to show on the video feed, actually. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm actually going to show this email on the video feed because they gave us art. It's super,
that's really cool.
It's super, yeah, it's awesome art. There's that one of Pharaoh. I love this one. I love the expression on that so much.
Upset.
Yep.
That's so me.
Also got one for CJ. And then some cool stuff. But this email says, hello, all of FurCast and friends. I'm a big fan of the show. I've been tuning in for 6 years now, since an old Therian friend told me about this great podcast. I love listening to the show as I work, although sewing with hooves isn't the ideal thing to do. I decided to do some drawings of you guys as a welcome to the new studio gift. I hope you like them.
Can we get those blown up and like on portraits and just like hang them on the back wall or something?
I hope you enjoy them. Again, as I have hooves, Heelsteed, the undead horse. P.S. I was the load gasp at the end. I think they mean lewd. Lewd gasp at the end of the podcast in the old studio. Sorry, it's hard to work Discord well, not trying to slam it into the ground. P.S.S. I attached a photo of my first fursuit. Please do not show on air. Oh.
Oops.
You probably should have put that at the beginning of the email. Sorry. Because I kind of showed it for a split second. I'm sorry. Attached photo of my fursuit. Please do not show on air, but you may look at it together. Okay. Well, whoops. I think it looks fine. I think it looks cool. If that's what you were worried about, I think it looks cool.
I like the fursuit.
Yeah, I like it. But there you go. So they made cute art for us. Well, thank you. I'm going to mark that as completed
I love how
red
upset
line.
mine looks. It makes me happy. Like determined yet upset. Like focused.
Like your life.
Yes.
That expression is your life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there we go. Of course, the noise gate cuts out. Yeah, noisy air conditioner. Eventually, we won't have a noisy air conditioner. Yeah, guys, then like, I think on the 16th, we're going to have proper HVAC installed, so that'll be nice. And then we won't have to have that noisy thing over there. It is really loud.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Yeah, but it's worth it not dying, because it's hot today. What is the temperature today?
It was like 80s.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the temperature right now?
Temperature right now is, hold on, 19 Celsius, which is 65 Fahrenheit, freedom units. And then it's going up to 79 freedom units on Sunday and 80 freedom units on Monday, and 82 freedom units on Wednesday, which is 28. Oh, for some reason this app says it's going to be colder, but on Tuesday it's going to be almost 30 degrees Celsius. Damn. And that's plus it'll probably be pretty humid too, because it is 75% humidity, relative humidity right now. So yeah, it's fucking hot.
I forgot what's the scale of humidity based
Dew
off
point?
of? Yeah, the dew point.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Yep. And that can be more dangerous than just the temperature, so.
Yeah, I don't handle well.
No, you don't. Oh my god.
Gaia
no,
says
you
open the
don't.
window. Gaia, the window is open. Doesn't work that way.
No, Pharaoh dies. He's an Arctic fox. He needs dry and cold.
Yeah.
It's true.
Ski Sharp says Minnesota was 36 Celsius when I fursuited because I'm an idiot. What the fuck? 36? Fuck. That is ridiculous.
Well, to be honest, I could suit in dry heat, like Arizona and stuff like that, where it's like not high humidity. Oh, it's not that bad to suit, to be honest.
He'll go out like fine in like 100-degree weather if it's like dry, but if it's like just a smidgen of freaking humidity, he's dead on the floor.
I can't breathe well and everything like that. And it's awful for me. I forgot what the dew point is that like it really hits me hard. Like I cannot function.
I think he was like 18, 20 when he gets up there.
Yeah. All right, so what are you guys thinking? Do you guys want to read one or two more emails if you can find one, or we could just call it a night? We could do some calls. I'm feeling, as long as we keep the thing on.
I'm not sure which emails are to be read.
If they're starred, pretty much. Except the one that's marked PR.
Why don't we try taking a few live calls like on the show before we end?
Nah, I'd rather not. We'll do it in the post.
We did it the one time.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty well.
It was a special occasion, though. All right, I got one. Warning, possibly long email. It's not that long.
I was just looking at them. Yeah, okay.
Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I literally just opened it.
Yeah, it's up to you. You can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Dear FurCast, I do not have faith in the internet to not lose this email and for in never to be read. God damn it.
Lose this email.
I understand it's lose this email, but
yeah.
Grammar, god damn it. And I'm the one that writes. But in any case, I'm a British Bull Blue and Red Bull and have listened to a sizable chunk of your shows and wanted to send you an email because ... comma, I don't know.
Love how you read the punctuation. Sorry.
It bothered me.
Yeah.
I have to. Before I say anything, I want to say a few things about myself as well. I feel I know quite a lot about you, and you probably don't know anything about me.
Probably is true.
It's very accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of happens. Okay. I'm a ex-word term bold term sailor? Okay. A country level fencer, trained-ish sports masseuse. Oh, okay. Severely dyslexic. Okay, that explains.
That explains that, yeah.
That's why even after the 5 hours of proofreading I'm still gonna make mistakes, sorry. Thank you for apologizing, being self-aware. You get points for that.
Self-awareness is key.
Yay! The more you know. Singer, sax, and piano player. Kinda messed up. Someone jumped in front of a train I was on when I was 6, and I saw a lot of unpleasantness.
Movies about that.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
movies about that.
Yeah, Suicide Club.
Suicide Club.
It starts with that. But, not to
Dirty
joke,
Japanese.
Yeah, moving on.
But, hey, among other reasons, wordsmith, gay, Catholic, interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Amateur photo...
Philosopher, I think is what they're trying to say.
Okay. And science enthusiast. If I'm honest, I kind of wanted to have a chat, but I thought I might address religion. Now, I'm a gay and Catholic, which I'm going to guess you think is kind of strange. I'm just gathering this from the limited times I've heard it discussed on the show. In the U.S., there are a lot of fundamentalists, people who think the Bible who take the Bible completely literally, who believe that homosexuality is wrong. In the U.K., however, any time the topic of homosexuality is brought up, in mass or religious education, there is never any homophobia. Yeah, because there really isn't in the Bible. But, details.
Yeah, could I jump in here, though, and say that not really, that's quite a generalization. The thing, even amongst Catholics, speaking of somebody who, I work in a lot of Catholic schools, because the company that I work for is...
You experience a lot of them.
Yeah.
Every day.
You experience a lot of them.
Yes.
Them.
I do.
Them Catholics.
But even amongst them, it really, really depends on who's running that church, how your priest is, all of that stuff. Now, I personally have zero interest in religious stuff, and I don't really even, I try not to look into it at all. But, I mean, I've been in some Catholic schools that have a huge science program. I've been, my friend Nico, who visits, I believe his family goes to a church where the priest is gay. And it really depends on, it really depends on the region. It depends on what specific sect of Christianity you're talking about. It depends on who runs that church, not only who runs that specific church, but also who owns it, right? If there's a diocese in a certain city. I can't believe I know some of this stuff.
That's what you get for working with Catholics.
I walk into Catholic schools with fucking bites on my neck from, like, gay sex the night I had previously. But, moving on. But yeah, no, it's... You got to be careful with generalizations and stuff. And the other thing is, when you say UK, well, the UK, I believe, includes... What country isn't in the UK? Is it Ireland or Northern Ireland?
Northern Ireland.
I think it's Northern Ireland, where there's like... I know, to Bunny Boy was telling me, like, in his neighborhood, there were huge fights, even sometimes stabbings over whether or not people would be Catholic or Protestant or whatever else, or whether or not they were gay or not.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, it really, really depends. And it also depends on, like, whether you're in a rural area or a more populated area. If you're in a city, it's going to be a lot more accepted. If you're out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, who knows?
In the next town over, I pass it every time I drive out there in East Aurora, and I'm trying to find it. It is East Aurora's Christian Science Church.
Christian Science Church, there you go. Yeah.
I do want to state that most science was started by the Catholic Church, just so you know.
Yeah, it's like, there are definitely crazy people in many places,
but he says, on the sign says, first scientist Christian preacher.
Uh-huh. Nice claim there.
Oh, okay. That's a bit weird, but I guess you're trying to appeal to the kids nowadays.
Yeah. Somebody else in chat says they know a couple of gay Christian Baptists. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where it just really depends on region and who runs it and everything. It's
because that's such a personal thing. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
the Vatican and all that can say what they want, but they can't really do anything about Protestants. And then I'm not even sure how well organized Protestants are, but then again, we have America where it shows it's kind of weird and out of control.
Christian Science reading room.
But I mean, if you just, I mean, what's this goddamn name? The monk who discovered genetics and all that stuff, the stupid peas, he was a freaking monk supported by the Catholic Church. And there you go, follow genetics.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Found it.
why did everything go stupid?
I pass by this place every single time. I pass by this church every single time I drive out to East Aurora. That's the town that it's in. And it is the First Church of Christian Scientists. First Church of Christ, Christian Science churches and reading rooms.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still a very avoid even acknowledging that religion exists kind of person most of the time. But the other thing is...
Do you want some Body of Christ?
I also have to say, too, like, when you go into Catholic institutions, they are almost all run by families and local communities. I mean, it's like you go into some Catholic, building or something, and it's like, that hallway was built by so-and-so's grandfather, and, this was donated by so-and-so in the community. It's so community run.
That's the main whole freaking... I mean, I'm more religious than you guys, but not like mainstream religious. And so it always bugs me when people just are like, oh, religious people are stupid and blah, 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 believing in stuff. It just makes you dumb. Thank you, fundamentalists in the U.S. that give us that bad impression. But it's like, it is about the community and the people, and it's just kind of an excuse to gather and help each other.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this is horrible.
It's one of those things where you just don't...
God.
It's best to avoid making generalizations.
It's like one of those places that like gives wrong science.
Christian Science place is that you gotta stop taking medicine and stop getting.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Run away.
Yeah, it's one of those places.
Run away.
And not what's it called? Vaccines are bad. You should pray for your health.
Yeah, so it's like, those one places that are like, let's give you options about things and not give you options about things.
See, at first I was like, oh, Christian Science, and now I'm like completely scared because now it's like terrifying Christian Science.
This is how terrifying and manipulative some of them can be.
Gotta be careful. Meanwhile, I got
ruin it for all of us.
I got vaccines recently at Catholic Health. Because there's a hospital in Buffalo called Catholic Health.
Hospital?
Yeah, which is an actual hospital called Catholic Health, and that's where I got my vaccine. So it's like, I don't know.
Most hospitals were originally funded by the church, but guess what? They do their fucking job.
Mercy.
Anyway,
there's Mercy Hospital near us too.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, sorry, if you can finish the email.
Religious education, there's never any homophobia. This is because the majority of people here believe that God always loves us and so can't love gay peoples, or if it was a sin, God would forgive.
Generalization.
I mean, there's that level of thought there, so
yeah.
Some people, either way, those are kind of good reasoning, valid. And come to think of it, a lot of religion views differ between the U.S. and the U.K.
Generalization. Sorry.
I understand the generalizations,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes we need to use generalizations, especially with the U.S. at times. If you have any religious or philosophical questions, I'm usually pretty good at answering them. I love your show and hope it continues for a long time. Sincerely, Jamie.
Thank you for the email. All right, I will put that in the completed read live. Pharaoh, do you have this documented?
Yes.
You got it? Okay.
See, I'm the person that could easily talk about religion all the time and still be not stupid.
See, I've got...
yeah, but it bothers you.
I've got, Buddhist shrines in my room, and I don't know much about Buddhism. I mean, I think Buddhism has a lot of cool stuff in it.
No, I did a lot of... I love studying religions as mythos more than anything else, because just stories are fascinating. The stories have value. It's when you take it literally and you kind of usurp all common sense, then it's kind of like... okay, this was written 4,000 years ago. It's not designed for nowadays society.
That blew me away recently. I saw a poll on a website. I forget what website it was. Maybe it was Twitter. I think it was just like a news headline that was like a decent percentage of Americans believe that the Constitution, basically whether or not it should be incorporated. Okay, it was a debate between two things. Should it be interpreted using modern context, or should it be interpreted using the original context in which it was written?
Oh, no.
And I was how is that a debate? The point of the Constitution was a living document that evolved over time and got amended.
Yeah, but then people didn't. We don't really amend it in the way that we should be. And people don't. And if you amend it too much, then it's not the original document. If the original intention is maintained, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But that's the hard part, is what's the original intention.
Anyway, you guys are listening to FurCast. Pharaoh's gone. Who the hell knows where he went? He just kind of...
walked out?
Yeah, walked out. Did something. Anyway,
okay.
I've been your host, Paradox Red Wolf.
I've been your witness.
witness to the...
witness to this train wreck, since Pharaoh liked that one better. Ikasuri the Direwolf, and Pharaoh's off doing...
And I'm your host, Pharaoh!
Pharaoh, the disgruntled blue fox that disappeared.
Yep, he disappeared. What if he just comes back and we've just ended the show? You think we should just do that? Just end the show on him? He went away. I don't know.
He didn't even say anything. He just walked out.
Yeah, he just walked out. So, okay, whatever.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. don't know. We'll see. Is he coming up the stairs? No. I can't see through the door. I don't know. Anyway, good night. Stay tuned for the post show.
This is the Zana Broadcasting Network.
All right, you got 2 seconds to explain before I cut the YouTube recording what you just brought, because we just ended the show.
Oh, I had to go to the bathroom real quick.
Thanks for explaining. Because we were like, where did he go? Oh, well, let's end the show. Anyway, what did you bring?
The body of Christ.
Oh, very nice. All right, thanks for tuning in,
Wait,
YouTube.
it literally is. Here. Would you
Christ
like one?
crackers.
It's white. I got
the
white.
The white Christ
I got the white Christ kind.
I thought you weren't going to remove that.
I didn't want to because the warning label said keep away from small children.
That's hysterical. Anyway, good night, everybody on YouTube.
Don't you want to try one?
No, I'm not good.
Please try one.
No.
Take the body of Christ.
How do they smell? Ugh, they smell like styrofoam.
I'm pretty sure it's close to edible styrofoam as you can get.
No, I'm not eating one.
It's pure. Does it taste like styrofoam?
Yes. It tastes like the outer wrappings of like one of those like...
Do you feel saved? Do you feel sanctified? Have you committed to the
It said keep out of reach of children. That means you've got to keep it out of reach of you because you're a child.
That's right. He's 15.
Can you please just try one?
No.
Can you try a bite of white Christ?
I don't want to try one. No.
Try a bite of Christ. Oh, this really does feel like styrofoam. Are you sure this isn't styrofoam? It just feels like fucking styrofoam. Jesus, I'm sorry. If you wanted us to eat
He was very thin.
I understand things were tight back
terrible
then.
joke.
Eat it and then I'm cutting the YouTube.
Can you please try one?
No.
Just try one.
No.
Why not?
It tastes
Are you
stale.
afraid?
It tastes
Are you
stale.
afraid to have Jesus inside of
Yes,
you?
I don't
It's like
want
eating
Jesus
the
inside of me.
noodles off of a ramen that you haven't cooked.
Please try Christ.
Good night, guys.
Will you try Christ?
No! I will not. Jesus Christ. Good night, YouTube.